Hello, everyone, and welcome back with Elements in Shadow. I am your host, the Uncommon Guru of What Team Comp, and these are our wonderful players today. We have Madrino playing the Blade Singer Alasha. We have Paris playing Ellie the Barbarian. And we have Chris playing the Tabaxi Monk. We do also normally have Butters the Barbarian, but he and his Tiefling Barbarian boy are going to be parting ways for just a tiny bit because he has something a little more important than D&D to be doing, and we respect his life choices to actually get that done. He will be back with us next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, but in the meantime, I will hop into the Cheshire body and Jaeger him for the time being to make sure he gets to where we need him to go. So, are you guys ready to pick up where we last left off?
Yep.
Beautiful. So,
Quit sniffing me!
when we last left off, you guys had made your way into a small fishing village that had a curious conundrum of lightning striking after sundown, specifically striking at people, completely ignoring lightning rods and things that had been set up specifically to deter them. Having two members of the party struck by lightning multiple times, as though to accentuate this point, they eventually got a boat and made their way towards one of the islands where a lot of mystical, mysterious things had occurred, and in doing so found out that there was a few creatures on this island that were certainly out of place, especially in regards to their size, as well as a few plants, particularly ones of poisonous or parasitic nature. One of the plants being a type of fungus that infects the muscles of creatures to try and essentially pilot them, and as part of that, gives that creature the ability to blink out of existence.
Oui.
Fighting these large crocodilian creatures and coming to a victory over them, the party sat down, discussed everything. After they had attempted to skin them before debating on whether or not to keep the leather and saying no to the meat, they have ended their short rest. They've taken the time to make sure everyone is reasonably healed up, and they have options. So, what would you guys like to do?
There's a gnat flying in front of my face.
So I believe that Snow was departing to go on reconnaissance right before the session ended.
A short ways away. They wanted, Cheshire was like, don't.
Well, he was only gonna go like 100 feet
Yeah,
in the first place.
100
So
feet, yeah. Cheshire was like, hey, just stay close enough that we can see you, basically. Like, you can do that, just please.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming we have to go into the forest if I want to go anywhere within feet. So as soon as the trees block me from view, I'm totally going to go more than 100 feet away.
Make a stealth check.
Okay. That would be a natural 20 to start us off.
Alright, so you get to an area where there's a dense collection of the trees, thick enough that by going behind it, you're still technically within 100 feet if you're behind there. But with all that's been going on, you just able to kind of just slide away and just.
Now, DM, I want to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the Tabaxi features is they gain a climbing speed of 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would this be altered by the fact that I have increased, unarmored movement, or does it stay at 20 feet?
Let me look at that real quick, because I have considered that, and I just need to remove either. Your speed is increased by 10 feet, and it scales based off your level. It does not say your
walking speed.
Yeah, it just says your speed, which means that for a Tabaxi, yes, that does mean that
So you climb like a motherfucker.
your climbing speed would increase.
I got it. Sorry, I killed the gnat.
Okay. Sounds
He
good.
was flying in front of my face for 2 minutes. I was getting pissed.
Glad you're able to get it.
So I guess can I just? Do you want me to roll like a perception check, or what do you want me to do? Since I'm looking around.
How far are you wanting to go out?
Let's say I'll go 10 minutes out.
Okay. You just so you're aware. After the first minute, Cheshire is going to be looking for you, so you're going to have an angry, upset Cheshire when you get back. And Karg, because Karg is also going to be confused as to
Well,
what's
I
taking you so long.
told them that I was
Yeah.
going to check the perimeter.
Yes, within 100
So,
feet,
if they
which
can't-
there are plenty of areas where they should be able to see you within 100 feet.
See, you didn't tell me that. I thought we were just in a clearing surrounded by forest. My bad.
You're next to a river where there are a lot of trees. Yes, there's a stream, there's the trees and whatnot, and there's plenty of 100 feet of clearing that you could poke your head around in, which with their view from the clearing, they could spot you most of the time from the 100 feet from their little campsite that you've all situated yourself in. And eventually they would go to where they last saw you and start trying to look around to find you.
Okay. Well, I had a different impression of what it was. My bad. So no,
No,
I
you're
guess
fine.
I went further than 100 feet.
You're fine. So yeah, it's not something that you would just be able to like duck out and slide away from. There is a certain point where they would be able to get up and very quickly find out that you'd left. So yeah, you don't leave, you just look around the area. You can roll a survival or investigation check, your choice, if you want to be looking around the area.
Yeah, I'll do an a survival check.
Mhm.
That is a 9. So
If you're not using the stealth, I'll absolutely use the natural 20 from before.
okay.
I was about to
Sure.
say before you rolled, but you already rolled, so no worries. We're still using that. Looking around the area, the foliage has been noticeably disturbed. These crocodilian creatures with surprisingly softer underbellies have left certain drag marks that are not necessarily telltale, but enough that you're able to see that a number of these creatures have come and gone from this area. You can't say exactly how many due to the fact that this area has a large number of crisscrossing patterns that you're like, there's at least 5, 6, maybe more.
Okay.
That being said, many of the smaller ones you're able to kind of see either off to the side of certain ones where you'll see several big ones where it could have just been one coming back and forth a few times, or several. And you did see the 2, of course, from your last fight with them, so it would make sense that there's more than one. There is one thing that does stand out to you, which is that amongst all these you see various footprints, and you see amongst them that there are a few that are the much larger footprints, bigger than any of the other ones, and bigger than the creatures that you killed in the clearing.
Okay.
So these creatures have been heading in a northward sort of pattern, seeming to follow the river.
Okay. Sounds good. Once I see that, I'll just kind of look around, see if I can tell anything else, and after that, I'll head back to the clearing where the group is resting.
The only other thing you notice is that there's a few plants that are growing, kind of like wrapping themselves around different trees. A few fungi that are growing. One of them is actually growing out of an old rotted stump, where it seems to be just growing out of there as it should be. Most of them are somewhat familiar to you. You've seen a few of them from back in, not in specifically where you're from, but from around the area. One of them is a little bit odd, as it's supposed to grow between like the cracks of rocks, but it's clearly growing on the stump. It's supposed to be like a rock pincher sort of one that's supposed to try and grow out from between. It's called that because if you crush it, it's supposed to have like a paste that you can get out of it for some use. You've never really understood what they were doing with it, but it's
Drugs.
possibly.
Probably drugs. Okay. I'm not going to investigate the fungi. That doesn't
No worries.
concern me. Yeah, so I will return and I will share my findings with the party. Well, I would say we're definitely on the right track. The gators appear to be heading northward, so as long as we continue following the river, we should find the beast rather quickly.
Okay. Ah. If you're about it, are you ready to go?
I'm as ready as I'll be, Karg says, just kind of rubbing his face slowly. Yourself?
I'm fine.
Then are we waiting on anything in particular?
Nope. Cheshire just kind of taps his machete lightly, just kind of breathing slowly. Just, all right. I guess we'll be heading then. Let's go. Kind of like looks out towards the mountainside that you guys had seen before, that you guys said you were going to try and head towards, and just kind of like, it looks like he's just tired.
Okay.
I'll start walking if he points in the general direction. Or the general direction if he points in the direction.
Head for the gigantic pile of rocks in the distance.
Pretty easy.
Oh.
Yeah, he kind of like gives you a slight course correction. As he does so, he kind of, Karg pulls you closer just a little and just like, you alright?
My answer, it'll be a lie.
And tell me the truth.
Slightly,
Say again.
slightly terrified.
Of?
She glances back at the crocodile.
He glances back and then glances back at her.
I didn't have an opportunity to fight it before I was on the ground. And it's small compared to the one we saw on the side of the island. I'm scared I'm going to die here.
We could die anywhere. Battlefield, middle of the forest, on the water, in bed. Come on. Let's get this job done so we can not have to worry about dying here, eh? Gives you a half hug, like pulls you close and gives a little nod. Come on.
She looks physically surprised.
He's like trying to comfort you, but it's like more of a I'm trying to do this while moving and just being like, you're very quick about this. But he's trying.
Oh, right, I'm technically faster than him.
Yes. Before motioning forward and just follows after everyone.
I'll follow. My voice is croaky. What is happening? I need a drink. Hang on.
You're fine. I'll give you just a couple moments here.
Gotta update the map for the total party kill.
Of course.
I think I better. My voice was going. I don't know what.
You're fine. So you guys are heading up to the mountain?
Yee.
I believe so, yes.
So I'll move you guys over there. Let me just roll something real quick.
You're struck by lightning. It's daylight.
It's daytime out, but you're still struck by light. No, I'm not doing that to you. I mean, I could, but I don't want to.
No, you dick. Don't.
Oh, we're totally getting struck by lightning.
So as you're
There it
walking
is.
through the forest, there's a moment as you're walking through where you see some of the bushes just kind of shifting around as creatures are just not necessarily scattering, but just going through their day-to-day routine.
Threatening us.
One of the creatures kind of just lumbers on out, just kind of looking around. Is a thick, almost possum-looking creature that looks a little bit confused, as
We are, buddy.
almost looks like it's like looking for something, like looking like back and forth. It's a little bit chubby, looks like it's well fed,
Oh, he's so fat.
but he's like looking around for a second, just like looks around. After a moment, let me actually see. Are you guys moving stealthily?
I mean, I would assume we would be trying,
Roll
but I
stealth.
also don't know.
You can roll stealth checks if you'd like. Did you give your
No.
armor to your? Yes, you did. So he has the chain shirt, so you don't. Where is that DM rolled? I mean, it's a 10 and I can see that,
I
but
didn't mean to.
you're fine.
I forgot
You're
that
fine.
I'm still there.
So Karg has disadvantage on his stealth still. Still beat yours.
Woo!
You dick.
What, you got a 10.
No, I know.
Cheshire got a 13. What did you
Isn't he
get, Snow?
built for stealth?
He has proficiency in it, yes.
These rolls. I'm scared.
Well, that's not bad.
16
Pretty good
from
luck.
Lasha. What'd you get, Snow?
I got an 18.
18. All right.
Going
The possum is looking around. It seems to be just fat and content, but it like has like a slight squint to its eyes as it's looking around. And apparently it's very short because it looks towards like the bushes where you kind of are and just keeps sweeping over, just like just keeps. It's not really walking so much as it's waddling, as just back into some of the undergrowth. The card just kind of like, not now, just a little quieter. That was interesting. How is something like that fat with? Never mind.
Do I know that's just like a normal possum, or is there anything specific about that thing that would tip me off?
It looks like a normal possum. The main thing that is weird about it is that it's fat and that it's looking around like almost like it's suspicious, which is the best way I can put it.
It's a familiar. Quick, kill it. No.
If it's fat, then it would be eating well.
Yeah. But the question
Well,
is, how does it do well in the jungle with a bunch of carnivores?
Isn't that the question, though?
Yep.
I suppose we'll have to remain on guard. Still.
Yeah, like we haven't been on guard already, Cheshire says, just
It's
kind of like
so
scratching his
bad.
head. Yeah, I noticed. I mean, I guess it's cute. I kind of like makes the shrug like, I don't really care.
Shaped like a friend. You put a fat rodent in front of her. This is a bad idea. You saw what happened when you bought Incontinental bunnies, Dawn.
I'm aware.
Wait, you're not thinking of trying to kill that, are you?
No, she loves small creatures.
I don't think it's so much
Oh.
that she's going to try and kill the creature, so much as she's going to try and pick up and pet the creature.
No, that I was just okay.
Yeah, no worries.
No, she loves small animals. Like, they're adorable to her. She'll keep walking towards the peak, though. Well, a part of me wants to curiously look at which way it went.
It looks like it's just kind of wandering around the mountainside. So it's like going just kind of essentially to the east.
I'll keep going towards the peak.
Hey, where are you going?
No,
The
you,
mountain
no, you're
is-
going. Yeah, no, she's going towards the mountain.
Oh,
So
okay.
she is going
Towards
the
the
right way.
peak, like towards the mountain, not to peek at the possum.
Got it. Okay, never mind. Ignore me.
You're fine.
No worries. So, heading towards the mountain, you eventually get up towards the edge of the mountainside. It's not incredibly steep. There's a few naturally worn areas that you could climb up. It's essentially like going through slightly difficult terrain. It essentially means that there are patches where it's rougher and not as worn over time, usually from things like water. There's no beaten path from people walking through it, from what you can see.
You said there's no beaten path?
Yeah, from what you can see, this place has not been inhabited by people, at least in a good long time.
Okay. Well, let's start climbing. Thank goodness for my trusty climbing speed.
So that will help you out a little bit. So you start making your way up the side of the mountainside, keeping your stealth rolls in mind, of course. Eventually you hear a soft, like, rumbling sort of sound.
Okay.
It's a dull thud, and then some of the rocks kind of shift a little bit as you're approaching, kind of keeping yourselves as down as you can to try and avoid being seen and such like that. You see just the back end going into a large cavern, a very wide, very long reptilian form that just of this form that just slides into a cave that's probably at this point probably a good 120, 180 feet from where you started. Just sliding inside of this cavern, which from the size of it probably could fit at least a good 20, 25 foot tall entity. Looks to be natural so far as you can tell, although there are a few parts of it that look like they've been scraped against on the sides, probably from this creature just not really paying attention, just bumping up against it from time to time.
Does it look like a crocodile when you say reptile?
Yes. It does look like the creatures that you've currently fought.
Well, there's a death grip on Karg's arm now.
Nobody say anything. Okay, what do I notice about this thing? You said it's
Ellie?
Hold on.
Yes!
Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
nobody move. What is it? What do I notice about it? Like, what is it?
It's bigger than the ones you saw in the clearing.
Oh,
Love.
As it's moving in, it noticeably takes more time for the length of its body to enter the cave, because it is simply that long from nose to tail.
cool.
And what were you saying, Paris?
When you say nobody say anything, Ellie's head legit turns to look at you like, then why did you just say that?
He's not paying attention to you. He's observing the alligator. Or the reptile, whatever it is.
It's a crocodile, alligator, giant maw. Oh, God.
Well, at least now we know what we're up against.
And you said it's 20 feet?
I said that it's from where you currently are. It's about 120 feet.
Okay. Am I able to gauge approximately how large this thing actually is?
Gauge-wise, from foot to shoulder, it's probably make a perception check or an intelligence check. Actually, just
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh, that's good. I rolled a natural 19, so that's 18.
Okay. From foot to shoulder, this thing's got to be at least 10, maybe 15 feet. You're guessing more closer to the 10, but from nose to tail, just based off of what you've seen and the fact that you're seeing it slowly making its way in, and there's a lot of back end to get in there, this thing is probably a good maybe 30, 40, maybe even 50 feet long. Just because you can't see the front end of it, it's a long creature.
Oh. I'm sorry, so you're telling me right now that we're fighting a crocodile the size of a whale? Why are you shushing me? That was out of character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was out of character. Yeah, she was asking that to me. Just like, wait, what?
I don't even know what a whale is.
Yeah, Ellie has no idea about whales. Whales don't exist. They're
I
a
don't know
myth.
what Ellie knows. Again, we've known each other for approximately 36 hours.
You're
She
fine.
told you she's lived in the forest.
You're
He
fine.
doesn't know where we've been.
I've been everywhere, man, looking everywhere. Sorry, I had to. We're moving on. But yeah, so yeah, you've seen this creature and it has entered this cave. Looking a little bit further up, there are a few other areas where there are openings that are potentially there. Either that or there are areas where two rocks are close enough together that it looks like an opening and it doesn't actually go deeper, but you'd have to investigate them to check.
Elisha.
So wait, you're telling me that we have to get closer to the cave that this thing just went in to investigate this?
I mean, if you're wanting to go into the cave, you can. I'm saying that there are other caves above where that cave entrance is, and if you wanted to find out and make sure if those ones actually go somewhere, you'd have to go up and check them out.
Yes.
Okay, two things. One, actually, really fast. Guru, the holes or the potential openings that are above the cavern entrance, is it like what's like the degree of the wall? Is it like straight up cliff, or is it like further up like an angled slope, or
Angled slope.
okay?
We talking a full pipe here?
Somewhat. More like you're trying to walk up an arch, which is rocky and craggly, so there's handholds occasionally, but not too many.
Okay. Elisha,
Yes.
is there any way we can collapse that cavern on top of the giant guy?
Collapse the cave. Sure I brought anything like that day one more.
Say the last part again. You were very soft there.
Sorry. Here. Okay. I will
I hate to
turn to
check.
Elisha.
No.
and
Elisha
whisper-
was saying you were fine.
Yeah, I was checking my spell list to see if
Basically,
I
to
had
see if she
anything.
had
Okay.
anything. That's
Yeah, I was just
breaking.
making sure. Cause I thought I heard it. I'm like, wait, is yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, that is not currently in my repertoire.
I see.
I can do one thing if we're going to explore up there. And it's not, exactly stopping the thing from moving, but it can alert us to if it's coming. I ironically have the alarm spell. finally useful.
Wait, aren't you a barbarian?
I have a feat that gives it to me.
Oh, magic initiate. Got it.
No, I have the survivalist feat.
It's a one from Unearthed Arcana.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, our best bet's probably to investigate those other caves. You said you had some. Would you say an alarm spell? Correct.
Mhm.
Can you set the alarm so that if the alligator leaves that cavern, we'll know?
Yes,
Okay. Let's do that while we investigate the caves.
I can set it 30 feet into the cave it went into, so we know a little bit more ahead of time.
I trust your judgment in this case.
I'm assuming that since this is, a 50-foot, 10 feet high, fat fucking crocodile, that I can hear its steps.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Bastard. Bastard. My passive is 13, that's why I was asking.
You can hear the distant thuds. You can't gauge exactly how deep into there it is. When you peek inside, it's dark enough that without dark vision, you don't see too much, but you're like, it should be.
I have dark vision.
Oh, you do have? Oh, yeah, Belt of Dwarven Kind. Yep, 60 feet out, you don't see it.
Okay. I'll put the alarm spell 30 feet in and gesture to Stowe to start climbing because I know I'm going to take forever.
Karg waits outside, and Cheshire's just kind of like looking between the two, just like staying close enough to the two of you that he can quickly jump in if something happens, and also jump up to help Alasha and Snow if there is anything that happens with them. You take the 10 minutes to ritually cast. Is it the ritual cast of it, or is it just the spell cast? Just to verify.
From what I can tell, I think it's just a spell cast, but I'll look at it.
It's probably
You can cast it once without expending a spell slot, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest.
Okay.
That's all it says.
Yeah, let me just see if it's an action or if it's a. Yep. So you take the 1 minute, and you basically set up a tripwire that lasts for 8 hours. It's a beautiful spell, wonderful spell. You just set it up and you just lay it across the ground so if they. Do you want to make it an audible or an inaudible? Bells going off or like bells just in your head?
I would say audible just because, it might confuse the crocodile and give us a little bit more time.
Okay. So you set it up with an audible. Is there a sound you want it to be, or just an audible, like little, like a eagle screech, or?
Do they have war horns back home?
They do.
That.
Okay.
So just a blaring deep noise that just reads danger, danger, danger.
I getcha. Alright, so you have that set up, and you move over to follow after them, Alasha and Snow. Moving up the mountainside to get a better look at one of the other caverns.
Wait! I have a question, I'm sorry. If I make it audible for the spell, would that mean that after a certain way away I wouldn't hear it if it's tripped?
Let me check alarm real quick.
Or would it still ping in my head?
I'm checking. Alarm. Choose a within range, no larger than 20 feet. When you cast a spell, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. You can also choose whether the alarm is audible, mental, or audible. A mental alarm alerts you with a ping. A audible alarm is a 10-second within 60 feet.
Mental then.
Yeah, mental is a ping as long as you're within 1 mile of the warded area.
Yeah, I'll pick the mental then. Because I'm going to assume we're probably going to go 60 feet away from
More
this
than
cave.
60 feet, more than likely. Depending on where you are.
I'll take the mental.
Alright,
Cool.
so it'll be like little war horns going off in your head. Little ping that goes, and you're like, up, up, up. But yeah, so you finish that. Simple enough. Snow and Alasha, during that minute, you're able to get up. The first cavern that you actually see only goes in about maybe 15 feet. And actually has a partial collapse look to it. Like there's maybe a area that you could slide through if you were a tiny creature, but That'd probably be something for like rats or bats to kind of slip in and out of. Nothing that you guys would really be able to get too deep into. Moving up a little further with Karg, Cheshire, and Ellie moving up behind you guys now. The second cave does go a lot deeper. It goes in at a flat angle, but you notice that there's a slight deviation where it's going like downwards and at a slight turn. So it's like it was burrowed into and then supposed to go down into the center, the heart of this mountain.
Okay. We'll keep tabs on this, but let's check out all of the potential caverns just to make sure we don't miss anything.
Alright.
Agreed.
Going up further, there's more little outcroppings that look like caves from a distance, but the closer you get to them, you find that they're just over arches, essentially places that you could possibly like get in under if there was like rain or strong winds buffeting you or things like that.
Or lightning trying to kill you.
Hmm?
Or lightning trying to kill you.
Things of that nature, yes. Most of them go in about 15 feet or so. One of them actually goes in like 25 feet. There is another cave that's almost getting towards the peak, and at this point the sun is further along in the day, so you actually can see you've got maybe a couple hours before sundown. This one though, it goes in about 30 feet and it has a very sharp incline downwards.
Okay. Well, now that we've examined all of the options, we have, I'd say, two contenders for secret lair entrance. There's the one that we went by earlier, which had a more gradual decline, or this one. Which one do we think it is? To me, this one strikes me as more of a duct than an actual entrance. But I might be wrong.
If I hold my great axe down, can I see slightly further?
Activating your the moon part of it.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was just always active.
No, it's something that I think is it always active?
I think it might be.
It might be within darkness. That's fine. When it's in within light, it doesn't start glowing. Think of it like Bilbo's sword, but only activates when it's in darkness. So
It's a nightlight.
essentially.
Cool.
Do you move into the cavern to see if you can see deeper down? Because once you hit
A
30
little
feet,
bit, yeah.
it has this steeper incline, which it's glowing faintly at this point. You're more out of the way of the light, but there's still enough light that it's not glowing fully. Looking down, trying to gauge, and you do have 60 feet of dark vision, which is definitely helping. With that 60 feet of dark vision, you see that it begins to expand as it gets deeper in, maybe about 15, 30 feet, somewhere in that range. And there seems to be many stalactites on the ceiling that are in this area. No real stalagmites, as far as you can see. Like the ground is more flat and worn out than stalactites on the ceiling.
So it looks like there's honestly more cave, essentially.
Yeah. Which, with the fact that there are stalactites but not mites, is a little bit surprising due to the fact that usually it's like the condensation from stalactites eventually takes time, of course, to build up stalagmites, which there's not many that you can see from where you are standing. If you go deeper in, you might see some in various areas.
But it's still weird that I don't see even a slight one forming, essentially.
From your current position, yes.
Maybe I'm just paranoid, but this looks odd in and of itself. There's no spikes on the ground, but there's spikes on the ceiling.
Out of character, this is a different cave than the one where the gator went into, right?
Correct.
Yes.
This is one, basically, you're about maybe 100 feet from the peak. You've gone up almost at least a mile by this point.
Cool.
Not a huge mountain, but it is definitely one that, with the incline, makes it a lot more difficult and dangerous to traverse than just going at it head on.
Does it look like there used to be spikes on the bottom, but they got like worn away?
Make a perception check.
Actually,
you're
that's a
going
good
into the room.
question.
You as well.
Oh, nice. Wait, who joined? What?
That was the lad.
Lad?
There he is.
The lad?
Yeah.
I got done saying goodbye to my friends. Okay. So I got one of my favorite moments is I got a friend that's over 300 pounds, and me and three of my other friends took a picture of him in his cap and gown, holding him up like a chimp.
Nice.
Amazing. Well, welcome to the Game Butters. You guys are currently
Yeah.
over a mile up this mountainside cliff and are looking into a third cave that has a incline to it, as well as stalactites, but not a lot of stalagmites on the floor, which I still need. Yep, nope, there is 18 from Elisha. Just saw that.
Also, someone DM me what happened the last session. Not like for this game. I'm talking about from what I missed from the last.
Oh,
Sorcerer and Secrets.
Sorcery and Secrets or here?
No,
Sorcery and
Sorcerer.
Secrets.
I'll do that later. No worries. I'll fill you in. That being said, with your 15 and 18, with the 15, it does look like it's been worn out over time. It's it's probably something that was gradual. It took a lot of time. It's a little bit weird though, because there's not really any like tools or anything that would indicate to you that this was moved in such a way. So it's just kind of for your mind, you're like, I guess it kind of makes sense. Elisha, with your knowledge and your understanding of things a little bit more arcane, there's a feeling that some of this has been altered magically. The first spell that comes to your mind to create something like this, because there's certain pockets that are worn and almost a different coloration than the rest of it. The first spell that comes to your mind is Mold Earth.
Interesting.
What do you see in there?
It appears that someone has modified the floor of this cavern using some sort of spell. Mold earth, perhaps. As to why they would have done it, I am not sure.
Don, do I notice anything off about this cavern now that she says this?
With that, when she points it out, you're noticing little patches, little pockets of discoloration, which it's kind of in like splotchy little circles, but they fit within a 5 foot by 5 foot square, which you don't know much about magic, but you've heard about that.
And just to make sure, because I'm taking notes, this cave that we're looking at, it's the gradual decline, not the sharp one.
This is a sharp one.
This is the sharp one, okay.
Yeah, so so I believe, if I understand correctly, the cavern with the giant gator in it was at the kind of more the base of the mountain a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then above it, a short ways, was the gradual incline cave that we found. And now that we're close to the peak, we found the sharper incline.
Correct.
Okay.
You have to actually enter into this cavern area if you want to see more of what's in here. If there's a path that actually leads down or anything like that, that's up to you guys. Or you guys can go back down to the second cave and check that out.
I would suggest likely go to the second cave to explore first, because my limit is a mile with that alarm.
That's fair. I'm inclined to agree with you.
All right. So you guys take some time. It is a lot faster going down the hill than up. It's not necessarily, that's not a dangerous thing to do. It's just taking time to do so. Just for reference of speed, just to see if there's any checks that need to be done. Are you taking this at a slow, mild pace, at kind of a normal, just a little bit of a quick step pace, or a fast pace to get down to the second cave?
What would you say? Go ahead.
I probably, just based on our our party's composition, I probably would suggest a slow pace.
And what were you saying, Chris?
I was going to say, has there been any significant passage of time? Or are we still about the same time when you said the sun's getting lower?
At this point, it's still around the same time. You didn't
Okay.
you didn't go into the cave, so you didn't like actually start looting around or doing anything like that. You were just peeking
Right.
in just to get an idea.
Okay. A slower pace is probably not a bad idea. Obviously we don't want to be caught outside after sunset, but we also don't want to rush into something that could potentially kill us. So, and if we fall down this mountain, and wake the gator, then we're really in for trouble.
I'm inclined to agree. Card just kind of nods.
So, I believe a slower pace would be a wise course of action.
All right. So, going at a slow pace, you're not having to make any checks to keep your balance or worry about anything like that. You're just heading down the side of the mountain. It takes maybe roughly around half an hour to get back down safely, and going at a slow pace just to ensure that you're not slipping, sliding, and also sending a scattering of rocks that may also alert anything in the area. Eventually, you guys make your way back down and you're able to get to that second cavern area. Do you guys enter into the cavern, or are you just kind of peeking in first?
I say let's look in first.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, perception checks.
Okay. $25.
25, okay.
Natural 20.
26. All right.
Nice.
Once again, you are looking into an area that, with this lesser decline, you move in close enough to where you can get a actual vision of it with dark vision and such like that. Once again, you're noticing a similar pattern. Many stalactites, but no real stalagmites in the immediate area that you can see, and there are the similar splotches of ground that appear discolored, as though something was either removed there or something moved in such a manner, more than likely magically, because there's no tool marks, there's nothing to indicate like someone chipped away at this or wore away at this. This was something done in such a way that it left a mark, but no mark of like a tool or an item that you can visibly see.
I came back and Alasha sees everything. All right.
Yes. Yes, she does.
She sees all big, beautiful brain.
I will quietly mention this to the rest of the party.
One other thing that
so
you
what did I with?
we've gotten down to the second cave again.
Oh yeah, you can do a perception check if you want.
You can do a perception check if you want, which I also, Butters, do you need me to roll one for Cheshire? Or can you do it from like your phone? Not sure if he's still with us.
He is.
Just checking.
Yeah, I don't think he's able to talk though. I think it's
He's
you know,
probably
janky
right
for
about,
him.
you know.
Yeah, he's
Roll for
typing.
you.
He says roll for him.
Perception. 10. He and the both barbarians.
The
just kinda looking at-
barbarians on point.
Let's see, what about the perception of
If we get another
Perk?
10.
No,
Oh
not-
damn! Look at card.
There we go.
Another natural 20 for a
Nothing
23.
gets past this group.
And the barbarians, yep, nothing. Something walks by them. You hear something?
I didn't hear shit, bro.
Nah, we couldn't have heard something. That
Nah,
would mean
not at
something got past.
So for the three of you, Karg, Snow, and Alasha, there's something else about this that it's not throwing you off so much as it's making you hesitant. At the very least, like, to take a moment to pause. Most of this area has had a very a humid smell to it because of the fact that it's, on a lake. They're surrounded by water. It makes sense. It's kind of got almost a jungly feel to it. This has another smell to it. A faint sulfurous smell. Almost like the best way that you could describe it would be if you were going from a jungle into a marshland or a bog.
That sucks. Okay, I will quietly turn to Elisha and Karg and Butters and Cheshire and say, I don't have a great feeling about this entrance either, but we need to pick an option. And at this point, I think it's in a kind of a choose your poison situation.
I concur. Based on the fact that we need to be close enough to the lower cave to still maintain Ellie's alarm spell, and the fact that the upper cave seems to have gotten the same treatment as this one, we do seem to be in a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. We may as well proceed with this.
I agree. I say we go in now, and what comes, and we'll deal with it.
Agreed.
If we're going down this tunnel, which one of us you want up front? She's looking between her and Cheshire. Because out of all of us, we can take the most hits.
And you both have dark vision. That'll definitely make it so that you're able to... and there he goes. As Cheshire just starts walking in, just like leading the pack immediately.
She follows after Cheshire.
I'll follow after Ellie, seeing as dim light doesn't stop my perception checks from being decent. I figure I'll be kind of close.
Skulker! No.
No, different.
No, I know.
Shadow Elf.
Karg will nod to Snow.
I suppose I'll take up the right after Elisha then.
Yep. Karg waits for Snow. Kind of like looks at the back and just like...
I'm slightly surprised you don't have sunlight sensitivity.
He's not that type of elf.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, the term shadow elf just makes me immediately think it.
I feel you on that. Alright, so with marching order as Cheshire, Ellie, Elisha, Snow, and then Karg, you guys enter into the first cavern, or the second cavern rather. The area expands, and there's 2 tunnels. There are on the left side, one's on the left side, one's on the right side. As I mentioned before, the area has a very noticeable lack of stalagmites, except for maybe a few in like the corners of the room and such like that. Stalactites, plenty of them, they're fine, they're on the ceiling. Most of them are fairly thin, very small. Some of them are much larger, more pronounced. As you're looking around the area, you notice that there's a few different marks of things that maybe have scratched and moved around here, maybe things like bear or something like that that may have lived here before, as well as a few different drag marks, specifically of the sort that you've seen before, of the reptilian nature. The main issue is that they go down both tunnels, which means that if it's moving around here, it's moving around as it pleases, and it's gone down each path. So which path would you like to take?
How big are the tunnels in each direction?
The one on the left is at least a good maybe 15 to 20 feet across. The one on the right is about 20 to 30 feet across.
How big was the gator?
Width-wise, at least a good 15 to 20 feet.
Ellie's staring down the large tunnel. Does anyone know if they can climb?
Gators, not. I'm aware of.
Out of character, do I know if they can climb?
What, gators?
Yeah.
Okay.
A nature check. They can get themselves upright to a surprising degree, but not fully a climb. So not really.
If he raised himself up, could he have reached his cavern?
I mean, if we're being honest, just really fast out of character, we just fought alligators that could blink in and out of our plane of existence.
Well, the irony being is that alligators can't climb.
Yeah.
I was going along with the point that,
Blink.
They can blink up.
Yeah.
probably
Well, they can
anything could be expected at this point.
Well, they can only
Really.
blink 10 feet, however, is the thing.
But they blinked.
Yes.
Oh, you're just basically saying, like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't know what this fucker could do to get up here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying we can't rule out the possibility that this thing has some way of getting into the tunnel and getting up here. We should always expect the worst.
Of course. One of the other things you notice about this cavern is that there's a stream of water that is coming from an area above the cavern that was strolling down and becoming part of the stream, the origin of that stream, if you will.
Okay.
But because of the fact that this area smells boggish, you're expecting to see more water inside of here. But this current area you're in, it's got some humidity, it's got some water that's, in a few different places where it's like dripping off the stalagmites, but other than that, no water.
That's
So
weird.
I'm sorry, which for note-taking tunnel has the water?
None. Right at the moment,
Okay.
you don't see any water in this cavernous area currently.
Okay.
The water that you had seen was like coming out of some of the rocks near the cavern's entrance.
Gotcha.
Well, since we can't really pick eeny, meeny, miny, you, and she'll go down the left one.
So you start heading down the smaller tunnel, making your way, and Cheshire, as soon as you pick it, just starts following right alongside, and gives a little, moving a little faster, just up front, ready to take whatever may come your way.
I'll assume the previous marching order.
I'll assume that as well. You guys didn't say anything about changing that.
We're still stealthing, right? Just want to make sure.
Roll another stealth check since you are entering a new area. Don't worry, I got you covered, Butters. Let me disadvantage that stealth roll for Karg. Beautiful.
24.
Nice.
Okay.
And stealth.
Oh no.
I see the barbarians are really syncing up today.
This is weird!
Two of them rolling 9s. And a 24 from the monk, who's just like, "Hua ha! Yeah, you can't touch this. Yeah."
No, I disappear.
No.
Like
I am
way more refined and
obviously.
graceful.
9.
I'm sorry, you
What do
said
I
I'm
look
way
like?
more
Okay,
refined and
character.
graceful, and all I could think in my head was this basically neon white cat climbing along the ceiling of this deep black cave.
He's dark furred.
Actually, I have white fur.
See?
Okay, so yeah, he might be the most stealthy of all of you, but at the same time, for all of you, it's just like we can see you. We're fine. We've got snow with us. It's fine. As you're walking through the area, you begin to hear like faint,
Waters, that's weird.
as well as a faint trickling sound like of a rolling brook, almost a very small body of water at least. And what's your passive perceptions?
17.
I asked
16.
a lot, I know.
No, 17. Just kidding.
17, 13. Cheshire's is also a 13. What was yours, Elisha?
16.
16. Okay. And Karg's should be. Yeah, it's also that. So most of you hear the sound of the water. And it's like, oh, yeah. So I guess we found where some of the water is. Elisha and Snow. As you're continuing down, you're hearing like the plip, plip, plip,
When we hear humming,
You hear humming, yes.
I say
Faint.
every step.
Very soft, but every now and then you do hear the faint, like.
I wave at the group to stop.
Yeah, I was just you beat me to it by like a second.
Yeah, you both basically are just like, whoa, stop. And Karg just like, why are we stopping? Ellie has to actually grab Cheshire because he can't see the stopping motions from Elisha behind him. I'm guessing.
Elisha, you right?
I do. Someone is ahead of us. Humming.
All of you hear that. Just like this audible,
Ellie is turning towards Elisha and Snow like, why are you talking?
Hello?
Out of character, I'm smart, not wise, first of all. Second of all, when I hear that, I don't say shit afterwards.
And ironically, out of character, Snow is wise, but not smart.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like Elisha and Snow have synced up.
Is someone there? I heard you.
Oh boy, oh boy,
Ellie
oh
starts
boy.
You start walking.
We've
So
been
does he-
caught. So, I mean,
At this point, it's very unlikely that they know where we are, so we can try and hide.
Yeah.
in a tunnel.
There
With
might
one
be
way in, one way
offshoots in this tunnel that we haven't seen yet.
I'm walking with her alongside.
Alright. Well, if the barbarians are going ahead, definitely have been heard at this point with those 9s.
Alright.
I mean, y'all can still try and hide. Technically.
I will stay back about 20 extra feet.
I'll stay back 15.
Okay. Karg is just like sandwiched behind you guys, just like, I can't move. I'm okay. He's just like, I have to follow after them, so I'm okay with this. But at the same time, I'm going to go up there and strangle the shit out
I
of
mean,
her
I'll
later.
let him go I'll let him go in front of me.
He, when you do, he's just like, thank you. Kind of just slides forward, just like, I kind of pats Lusher, just like, I need to go. They're making strangling motions at Ellie's back. Do you let him pass?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'll let him go.
Oh,
by
that's
this point, the two of them are far enough away that he is making audible noise with the scammers. Cling, cling, cling. You can see just like wincing with every step, just like, oh, not being stealthy
Ellie
at all, but he's
just
trying.
turns to look at him.
And he's like trying to be stealthy, but he's he's also trying to scooch over to like power walk up next to them, but he's also like looking at you, just like making a I can't believe you.
Cheshire kind of fixes his hair to make himself look somewhat more presentable, because I imagine at this point his hair is like he looks a mess. He just doesn't look great.
It's not like frizzy fuzzy hair, but it's like it's not the best. And granted, the humidity is kind of making it a little bit easier to get it to
Oh god,
look.
humidity. My hair's up in a
Your
ponytail then.
hair is ponytailed in, and otherwise it'd be frizzy. One other thing that you notice as you're going in is that bog smell is getting stronger.
Okay, fuck.
And as you actually are walking forward, you eventually get to a point where you're hearing a little, and you look down and see.
I don't
there's
like that
soft-
sound.
There's soft,
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, which is the sound of, as you're looking down at the ground, just like, what the hell? And you realize you're walking on soft, moistened dirt, which is probably what's making the bog smell permeate.
Guru, just call it mud.
It is mud, but it's as you're getting
He
more
refuses
into it.
to call it that.
It's the reason why is because
Mud is
it's
not
mud right
stinky.
there. Yeah, it's mud right here. But as you're going in, it stops becoming that squelching noise and more of a sloshing noise as you're walking into about a couple inches of water. Not deep,
Wait.
deep, but it is water.
How high?
A couple inches.
He's in my shoes.
No, not yet. You're wearing
Hey.
boots, which I would presume.
That's what you're worried about.
Okay, no, you don't understand.
I do understand.
had wet swamp water in my shoes before.
Okay, in person, as a person, like, I understand, but, like, you have some creepy, like, Annabelle situation going on with...
Magical mud. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
magical, but
fine.
it's okay.
You're
It'll
worried about your shoes.
it'll exfoliate. No worries.
She'll
Seems
freak
that
out
no
on that
matter
because her
the setting, fantasy or fiction,
she's freaking out. She would freak out about this more because it's like, I don't know what this fucking mud can do since everything else on this island is fucking crazy.
That's fair.
So if it comes in contact with her fucking skin, yeah, she's gonna be like,
That's fair. And as you're approaching the area, you've been walking down this tunnel, and it's become a reverse of the incline you've been going down. You've been going in a downward area, now you're getting to more leveled out, slightly upward incline, which is probably how the water has gotten down this far. And there's a faint flickering of sudden light off in the area ahead of you, where there appears to be an expansion, another cavernous area. Then another little flicker of faint, very dim light, then another little flicker of light as you see these little things just seeming to move around noticeably.
as the
before it
voice
seems to
stopped talking.
settle. 1 second! I need to prepare things. Oh, I haven't had visitors in so long. Oh boy, oh yes, goodness gracious. Come in!
He just lets out a slight exhale and we'll keep walking.
Same.
Entering this area, it's got that couple inches of water to it. And there's a few things that you can immediately see. The area probably at the center, like this, it's probably a 60-foot radius all around. The stone walls have chiseled into them with no tool you can noticeably discern. Little like stepping stools, little steps and such like that. An area that looks like it's a stone bed that has like a few softer looking like vines or some natural growth on it. Might actually be fungus. You're not 100% sure. It looks soft. Not sure if it'd be comfortable. There's almost a faint not phosphorus, but a faint glowing material between some of the stalagmites, giving it a not mites, tights. T from the ceiling, M from the ground. Stalactites. That's the fungus is like growing down it, almost in like a circular pattern, where it's giving it a ring illumination. Not enough to illuminate things on the ground, but for that there are little globules of light. They're just kind of floating in midair. As you see an older lady just kind of looking to brush, like she's got a broom and she's like brushing some of the water from side to side, looking into it, just like, it'll have to do.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to ask, is she hideous?
She's old.
Hags are
Okay.
Living proof that dinosaurs
Paris.
once walked the earth.
What did you say, Butters?
Paris, they're not, just so you know, out of character, hags aren't always hideous.
Yes, they're not always hideous.
Yeah,
And this one,
they're tricksy.
yeah, this one, she looks old. Like she's got the wrinkles of it. It's not like oh my gosh, I would, if I saw her walking down, I'd just be like, did she rise from the grave? Sort of look. She looks well kept, you know, for someone living in a cave.
Right?
Like she's missing maybe one tooth when she smiles at you.
What?
Yeah, she only is missing
Only
a
one.
tooth. Yeah, only one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually
Granny.
pretty good hygiene considering
Yeah.
in the setting.
Yeah. Her eyes aren't like going cross-eyed or going in two different directions. They focus on you, quite pleasantly. Her smile
Guru.
seems to be like
Quick.
cheek to cheek, just large smile as she sees you, just like very happily. Yes, go ahead.
Not again!
A quick what?
Man.
Mad, what'd you say?
Oh, for the love of...
There you are.
Can I... Okay, sorry. Can I tell if she's using any kind of illusion?
Make an investigation check.
Oh, she's with
Can I
us?
do this
I didn't know.
subtly so I don't look like I'm being rude?
Make a stealth
She
check.
doesn't see you, I thought at first.
No, she can
I
see you.
didn't
You
know-
guys are entering into the area.
Yeah, I didn't know Alasha was with
Cool.
us.
No, yes, you're
Oh,
all
see,
there.
and
She's
I-
like
No,
she's
no,
hiding
no,
in the
no.
back.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah, yeah.
I was still 20 feet back.
Yeah, so you two are still hidden. The other three who are in
Okay.
front, you are all seeing.
Okay.
and because of your skill and the fact that she has apparently supplied you with light, you don't have disadvantage on this.
And disadvantage on what?
The sight check to see her and to see if it's an
Okay, so-
illusion. So investigation check.
Oh shit, baby.
Nice.
From
Why
this
did you
distance-
say that?
From this distance, it does not appear to have any illusion magic on her form. The broom that she's wearing appears to have some illusion magic on it. It's not holding its true form. The form that it actually has appears to be, of all things, an oversized spoon. Which actually makes the stirring of the water actually make a little more plausible sense, but more confusing sense.
Elisha is very confused and frustrated with the fact that this woman is trying to sweep the ground with a spoon, but she keeps this to herself.
Okay.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Is
Gotta
it
worry
after-
about the real problems.
Obviously. Is it
Exactly.
afternoon already? Oh my goodness, I don't know the time. Down here, the sun comes and goes as it pleases.
Can I ask you a question that's very blunt, miss?
Eh?
Is that your giant-ass crocodile outside?
I don't own any crocodiles or any creatures of this area. They live freely. Owning such a thing would be quite preposterous. That would imply that I have some ability to make it understand me or to make it so that it is trained to do as I say.
It's the lady.
You can insight check the lady.
I'm not even gonna.
DM, I was gonna ask if I could.
Yes, you may insight check the lady.
All right.
DM,
Yes.
do I have to?
You don't have
Like-
to.
No, you don't have to.
23.
That's how she's just insane.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
you're allowed to think that. What'd you get?
23.
I got an 11.
An 11. Okay. With a 23, when she mentions some of the stuff, clearly the thought has come to her mind regarding some of these things, meaning that she is likely being honest, but she might be also thinking of ways with which to prevent such a creature or to claim such a creature. You're not sure what her intentions would be based off that,
Okay.
but she's at the very least
So there's a
she's-
bit of a twist to her word.
a slight twist to it, which seems
Or
to
a
be mostly in
hidden
the ideas that she is spouting off as being a little too well formed for something that just came up off the top of her head.
Snow
it.
stands up from behind the stalagmites. Objection!
Nope.
No, he's staying. He's staying.
I will creep up behind Elisha.
Creep up behind.
I will stealthily walk up to where Elisha currently is and be like, she's hiding something.
I
She
put
knows
my
what-
hand. I put my hand over his mouth.
Yeah,
I look at
he's
him.
whispering. He's whispering.
We were whispering before, and she still heard us. So
To be fair, she was probably hearing the clang clang of armor and the splish splash of two barbarians. But
I take no chances,
Of
and I
course.
look him dead in the eyes, and
Fair
I put my
enough.
finger to my
The
lips.
moment his hand comes up, I'll shut up.
Well,
And I'll ready a couple of darts in my hand.
okay.
I asked because, if it's not, yours in any way, shape, or form, or even something that you made, then you might not be safe here if you decide to go outside, because he's living downstairs.
He's downstairs! Oh, goodness! I never imagined such a creature could grow so large and still fit in there. He's so
I'll
fat!
be looking for a rock, Guru.
fat! She's been feeding it!
Guru,
Yes.
I'm looking for a rock.
There's rocks in the cavern behind you. Looking around, just kind of like
No,
Hmm?
I'm looking for one that matches the talking one.
make a perception check. Do you need me to
Yeah.
make it for you?
Yes, please.
No worries. I got you back. Perception. There. 6.
You do not have his back, actually.
I mean, I do, but he rolled a 6. That's not my fault.
Sure.
Just looking around, just kind of like a casual observation of the place. At the moment, you do not see any such rock. You're keeping your eye out for it, though, just to make sure.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Elizabeth. What's your name? Ma'am.
Yes. My name is. Hold on a second. I have it written down somewhere. You see her. It's like, she's like when she moves through the water, she moves almost effortlessly. Like it doesn't actually make any sloshing sounds when she does. Like she's like pulling her foot through, and there's like almost a gliding sensation to it. As she just.
Anyone within 15 feet, I like can see your jaw just drop in surprise.
What did you say about the rock again? Sorry, my little brother came in.
6 perception. You don't see it, but you're keeping your eyes open.
You have an older
Alright.
brother?
Younger brother.
Okay.
I just said my brother came in.
I heard older for some reason. I'm sitting here like, wait, what? Where?
No, I have an older sister, not brother.
Okay. Basically, if you said you couldn't see anything as a casual observation.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a girl named Pine?
Pine? I've heard of a tree named Pine. As she
My
walks
name-
up onto a little area where she has several books on.
Insight check.
Roll that
My
insight check.
my name is Cheshire. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. You see her go over to pick up a book, and she flips her, and then she like pauses, slaps her head, and closes the book, opens it to the first page. Forgive me, I've been away from people so long, I forget my own name. My name is Hindela Sedimal.
I rolled an 18.
18 and 17.
I rolled a
and 13.
17.
13. I'm too far away to properly perceive this woman.
You're fine. She definitely knows about pine trees.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you have a
She-
chance been talking through a special rock?
Cheshire is no
I
good.
talked through several special rocks. In fact, let me pull out one right here. And she pulls out a rock, and it's just a handheld rock. And she holds it up, and just like it just looks like from where you're looking, it's just a flat, water-worn rock. She holds it up, and she's like, "One of these days, I need to remind myself, get more of the plants here." Holds
Do
it up to
any
her
of the
ear.
rocks speak back?
She like holds it up to her ear, and as you ask that, she like looks at you, looks at the rock, looks at you. Not this one. Sets it on the table.
Do you have any rocks with a hole through them? More specifically.
That's a very specific kind of rock. Are you here searching for rocks?
We're here on the source of a lightning striking, and
Giant
yes,
creatures.
giant creatures and rock.
Giant
'Cause-
creatures, lightning,
Like
and
the
a rock.
crocodile.
That sounds like the start of a very bad joke. I like bad jokes. Do you know the punchline yet?
No.
I'd be happy to figure that out.
Oh, applesauce.
Well, we asked because we saw that big guy downstairs on the shore on the opposite end of the lake, so we knew it was big and that we probably should come deal with him.
I mean, if he is so fat, then that would make sense.
Do you
Something's
have a
also
chance?
causing lightning to attack people.
Lightning
So-
to
Essentially.
attack people.
Basically, people will go outside and it's like it's attracted to hit them as opposed to the rods that they set out. As this one can attest to because he got struck 3 times.
What? Like looks at you guys like what?
She points to
I-
the scar on his face.
I got struck 3 times and kept walking.
Karg holds up a hand. I got struck twice and I got knocked the hell out.
Yeah, he's a wee lad. He tapped. I just pat the back of him.
Karg like looks at you just like I'm betrayed.
You motherfucker.
Ellie
Once
just
again,
comes
if you
around.
roll high enough insight, you might be able to tell if Cheshire's joking about that.
At this
Hang on,
point,
I'll
from all
roll
the
this.
jokes,
Karg is rolling with advantage because he's starting to get your humor.
Can I roll with advantage?
All of his humor is extremely the most dry thing you'll ever see in your life, with no smile added.
That's
So
why
he just
Ellie's just.
says it and keeps a straight face.
I'm
that's
guessing
why
you're
Ellie just
joking
covers
because
her mouth and looks away.
Karg rolled an 18. I'm guessing he
Oh
figured it
yeah,
out.
no. Cheshire's big fucking with him.
like he like stares at you for a moment, then he slowly puts a hand to his chest like, Dick.
He just hears this very quiet.
You see the lady just watching you all is like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, lightning!
Wait.
You mentioned lightning. One moment.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's cute.
Yes. And she walks over to grab a book.
Yes.
You see her pick up a book, then just toss it over her shoulder. Picks up another book, toss it over her shoulder. Picks up a
So
scroll.
I'm curious because
toss
I'm
it over
going to
shoulder.
see what these books are.
Oh, it's a scroll.
Yep, she picks up a scroll.
Ma'am, can I
She
see
like-
this book?
Huh? What?
Can I see this book?
It's not what I'm looking for. Sure, go ahead. I don't care. She
pick it up.
sets the scroll off to the side. I need to remember that one for later. Pulls out another scroll. Throws it. Kind of tosses it off to the side. I suppose. And you actually see
I
like
have
she's in
I
a
have
little.
expected her to throw a book over her shoulder and KO me in the
Mm.
She isn't tossing any more books. Like you see her pull like a few of them to the side, and she's in like this little indentation into a little rock outcropping. But as she's digging in, you're realizing it's deeper than it looks at first. Because like she gets her whole torso just in there
holding.
before she pulls out another scroll that she pulls out and just like stares at for a moment, opens it up and stares at it for a second, then closes it. Yep, here it is. 1 second, let me. I am so sorry. I am so rude. She claps her hands and then flicks her hands out, and you see sparkles begin to come out of the air, and as well as the water in the area she's pointing begin to start to bubble up and start to just.
Ellie's
as
taking
you
steps
see,
back.
as you see in that area, mud begin to form up, begin to start wrapping around itself, forming into a table, and then you see it like just like spinning and spinning and spinning, and then just into a solid table, and then
What?
just another as you see several little not chairs fully, more stools form up, and 3 stools are formed. And she motions and she's like, that'll do. I'd have made a chair for myself, but I prefer to stand. Please, have a seat, have a seat.
Cheshire just sits.
Car just sits.
The
Don't question it.
I'm honestly not even sure if I...
It's bad. Ellie, you need to learn the art of just accepting things sometimes.
no,
and
because
just
now
not
I want to
question
do it.
Here.
Oh, you're so adorable. Well, have a seat. I want you want to know
So
more
sit
about
down.
the lightning. Yes, actually, the lightning actually has driven me into this cave. Surprisingly enough, it's not that it's a terrible thing. It's that it is annoying. Have you ever been struck? No, you haven't. You two have been struck by lightning, much like myself.
Ellie holds up her hand.
3 times.
Oh, you have been struck by. All of you have been struck by lightning. Splendid. I've been struck by
3.
lightning.
3 gestures to Cheshire. 2 gestures to Card. 1 and points at herself.
3, 2, and 1. And she kind of glances at Cheshire for a second. 3 is a very magical number. You must have had something very blessed watching over you as it happened. I'll have to ask you more about it later, but you wanted to hear my story, sir. I'll give you the short end of it. Lightning is a bitch. Are we in agreement of this?
Yeah.
Yep, it's
Sure.
good. She moves over and like, even though she said she wasn't going to sit down, she makes like a motion of sitting down and like pauses for a second, like thinks for a second. It's like, where did I? Oh, that's right. She stands up and goes. She grabs just a thick stone-backed chair and just kind of pushes it over next to the table before sitting down.
Ma'am, do you need help?
I've got this. I got this. The mud
However-
makes it very easy to slide things around. She
Okay,
sits
I
down.
was about to say.
She sits down and opens the scroll, and looking like you're able to see some of the scroll. It's not a terribly large table, but as she opens it, it goes from point to point almost immediately, meaning that like those scrolls have 2 pulls through them that you use to wrap them up by folding them in towards the center.
Oh, yeah. The thing that you basically wrap it around, essentially.
Yes. This has both of those, and when it opens, it's maybe a foot to 2 feet across. So not very large at all. But when it opens, you can see the words seeming to almost dance on the page, moving around, making shapes and forming into letters again before swimming around again as she just rubs her hands together. All right, let me see if I still know how to do this. Ooh, this is so exciting. I can have a conversation with people and she slaps her hand into the center of it, and the all the symbols seem to scatter away from it and then slowly just drag themselves back towards it. As she moves her hand up, and she's like, "All right, come on now." As she's like almost making a puppeting motion with her hand before she pauses for a second on one, like taps the page again, and all of the images stop moving, and it seems to form into words and symbols around a singular area that actually looks to be the island. It's essentially a top-down view of the map that you're currently seeing. The only difference is that in one area, which I will mark on the map for you, just a moment here, it has a yellow symbol on it. That is essentially, here, 1 second here. Oh, that's not it. I don't want shapes. Why did it give me a shape? There we go. A triangle with it's supposed to be a wavy line, with a wavy line through it in part of the forest.
What is that?
You see, that is what I have been determining for a while, and I've actually determined it to be quite a nuisance. Do you know anything about elemental magics? No, I suppose you wouldn't. You said you wanted to do earth magic, and if you wanted to do earth magic and you knew about how to do it, you would have been doing it. You're quite a smart lass, I can tell already, and I suppose you too would wish to know this as well? Motions to...
The last sentence that she just said was so fast that I didn't understand it.
She's motioning to Carrigan to Cheshire. Like, she's asking, do you guys want to know this as well?
Sure.
Yeah. What is it? Okay, so, have you heard about... Oh, this is going to be a little bit tricky, but follow me on this. Have you heard about... perhaps saying things simpler is better. No, maybe complicated. Give all the words. None of the words. No, a few of the
Simple,
words.
please.
Simple. How do
Just spit it out, please.
sorry about this.
Kindly.
No, again, I apologize. I'm just trying to get this as quickly as I can without upsetting you or making this. There is a void gap of information. Have you heard about that?
Have I at all?
No, this is the first you heard of it.
Have I?
Roll an intelligence check.
I'm not even gonna ask her. I think I know the answer.
Elash is the only one who might have this kind of knowledge.
Nope.
Oh.
Almost a natural one.
You haven't really heard anything about that. That sounds like it's like it's making you kind of lean forward with your pen in hand, just like, go on.
Time to learn.
Oh my god.
So simple, keeping it points 1, 2, 3, 4. A year ago, something happened, and there is a void of information.
Now, Snow's ears perk up.
There's too many things that changed too quickly. For example, did you know that there used to be a king of Halo? No, that's not it. Helison, yes. There used to be a king there. Do you know who is ruling over there now?
Do I know who's rolling over there now?
You do. It is the name of the person. So you know their title specifically.
Oh, it's the big cunt boy.
Yeah, it's the Ifrit.
Yeah, his name is... I don't have it pulled up, but I know it was the name, Guru.
Hang on. I think I might actually have it.
I'm pretty sure I saw
Look,
it.
I know he's fucking like whatever Jafar is.
Sultan
He's just
Axius.
Yeah, Sultan Axies.
Actually, he did have it.
Yep. So, yes. And you know what is the problem with that? It's a
He's a
sultan.
cunt.
Oh, yeah, that too. We don't have to go into details about his preference and whatnot, but regardless, he is a sultan. But they had a king before a year ago. And now there's a sultan. But there's no hostile takeover. There's no reasoning why there would suddenly be a sultan. There's just a sultan. And have you heard about what happened down in the south?
Have I?
That one I'm going to say roll a intelligence check for.
You want me to roll an intelligence check?
Are you
Yes.
speaking of dragon?
No. No,
dear.
to the south. Not to... Helison is to the north, dear.
That's a natural
So-
1. I don't remember anything.
I got a 9.
9.
Please fill me in.
It is in the place known as Dervok. They had a king there with many people that were well respected, and now there is a different king. I recognize the change in names. I've always been very clever about that. And the new king has seemingly come out of nowhere. In fact, last I heard, they were in the midst of a war that just stopped.
Does that ring bells for me?
Several bells, yes.
Okay.
Like you have several bells that are just like, yeah, no, this is clicking. All she's saying, it sounds
Like
yeah.
Iman is getting attacked by the Chroma Conclave. You have
Wait, what?
whenever the Chroma Conclave attacked, the warning bell started going off. Sorry, I'm rewatching that entire arc.
You're fine. I remember that. That's a good arc. But yes, everything she's saying, especially for like it's clicking in Cheshire said, it's clicking in Snow said. Everything so far has been clicking properly.
Nothing's been clicking basically for me, right? Except the AC's boy.
Yeah, the Axios boy. Yeah, you were very much like, I know that. The other stuff, And Forphil. Oh, Forphil. Oh. But the main issue isn't that these places have new people. It's that the magic has changed. It's dreadful. I used to be able to come into this place and be able to summon an earth elemental whenever I so please. Do you know what happens when I try and summon someone now?
Does it hurt you?
Mud?
No, I get an air elemental. I'm trying to summon an earth elemental. I have a very specific preference, and I'm getting air. Air of all things.
Do I know about wild magic, Ton?
Not particularly.
Yes, we
yes, you
experienced
did.
it in the forest.
You do know a little bit about wild magic, yes. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm assuming that sounds familiar.
No.
Not particularly.
That had nothing to
No,
do with wild magic.
not that scenario specifically, but I'm saying, does this sound like wild magic?
As a dude, I'm just gonna say I know you're DM, but I say no because wild magic
Yeah.
doesn't change the effect of the spell.
Yeah.
They just give you extra effects, but they don't
Yeah.
change the effect.
That is
Oh,
Does
I
this
didn't know
sound
that.
fam-
That was
yeah.
what I was asking.
Yeah, no.
Does this sound anything like what I know?
Roll an Arcana check.
But here you go. So what does this have to do about
Let's
lightning
try.
attacking people exactly?
Oh,
Yes.
No, you're like, yeah, no,
Matt,
you're
just nut.
No, I didn't. This is like the opposite of a nut.
I mean, to be fair for Alasha, this is big nut for her because this is suddenly her eyes perking up.
It
She's
went
like,
inverted.
yes. She's Matt Madrino just being like, shit. Alasha should be like, go on, I'm listening very intently. Like
Mhm.
scribbling down as fast as she can write because
I really am, honestly.
obviously.
Uh,
So you wanted to know about the lightning? Well, of course. See, the first time that the lightning began to strike was I was attempting to summon an earth elemental, and instead I summoned an air elemental, and then lightning struck. It was the weirdest darn thing.
insight check.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
I love how he shouts it every time.
He's just like, I need to know.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
darn
see.
straight I do.
I'll give you
Oh
a
God! Let me
I
roll
got
something
a
above.
10, so.
10.
I got an 11.
She.
Alaska, all our luck has run out.
Shit.
You
We're
guys.
saving it for something big. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I can think
Yeah.
of.
You guys seem to see her as she's very insistent, like very like just like I'm flabbergasted, I am offended, I am appalled. How dare my magic not do what I want it to do? But she continues on, and afterwards, after being struck by lightning, I started to ponder what it could mean. I've not attempted to summon an earth elemental since. I don't need lightning striking me again. My noggin is quite tender. What?
I don't think you can strike you inside a cave.
No, but I don't want to risk it. Do you? I can try it right now. But then again, the last time I summoned it, the air elemental wasn't friendly.
Ellie is staring at her with huge eyes, like, no, thank you.
No, I suppose not. But that being said, as I was looking through, she reaches out and she touches the area on the map, and it has a faint glow to it when her finger touches it. I found that there was an area here where something was amiss. Have you heard of the elemental planes? Alasha, you're allowed to roll a history check. Everyone else
not
would
even
not.
story time allows me that one.
Not even story time allows you this one. 10. I mean, you've heard of them in passing. It's something like you've looked into and read up on slightly, but it wasn't your main source of study, so it's like a passing interest.
Makes no sense based on my background, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, even with your background, like you wanted to know more about it, but there was other things that you were needing a little bit more information on. Predominantly.
But
Yep, so
black magic.
nothing about. Well, yeah, obviously, you do know of them. Like you know the 4 elements. It's basically you know the simplest of fire, water, earth, air. It's pretty simple. There shouldn't be anything too complex about this. Well, you see, sometimes there are entrances to these elemental planes. But entrances to elemental planes should not pop up out of nowhere. Would you like to know the secret of this one?
Sure.
I was here over a year ago, and up until a year ago, there was no portal to the elemental plane of air. And now there is one! Right here!
So you're saying maybe there's a being from the portal that's causing.
I think this is just a presumption that, based off of the amount of lightning that appears to have been falling more recently, especially at night, goodness gracious, it gets so loud! But regardless, I think that there could in fact be something that is threatening my livelihood and other people's as well, of course.
Do you think it's the portal itself, or do you think it's something that came out of it?
If it's something that came out of it, I imagine it would have made its presence known. Made it...
Or it would have wandered off by now.
Or wandered off, well, for certainly. It would have been vamoosed. Instead, it has been persistent over a year. Well, actually, around a year. Has it been a year yet? Around that time. Regardless.
Does anybody know to spell magic?
She looks to the two of you, just like...
Well, he doesn't know the spell, so we say, would you know a way to dispel magic would be the proper wording.
Oh, me? Oh, goodness, that's actually a quite wonderful question. 1 second. She turns around in her chair and runs over. Just again, there's a little splash of her putting her feet in the water, and then she just almost seems to glide through the water after that.
Card? You need to work your card. You got a way?
No, I don't have a way. To...
Out of character. If he slept for a day, he would.
Yeah, he's like shaking his head. Not at the moment, but if we had a rest, I could attempt it for sure. There's
Well, it's late at night already, so I don't imagine we're getting back to the boat in time.
Is it late already? Goodness gracious!
It was getting late, right?
Yes, it is not quite sundown yet, but it's getting closer and closer to sundown.
I don't know if we'll be able to make it back to the shore of the island and make it back all the way.
Probably not.
Crap. Ma'am, do you have a sending spell? Or a spell that can send messages? That's the word?
I can look for that as well. Hold on. I actually roll for her because her place is very clean, except in the areas where there's a congestion of like books and other such things.
What's
Let me see.
in that book that I picked up, by the way?
I'll get to that in a moment. Oh, she rolled 19 on the die. Yeah, she finds. You make. Are you home to? No, you're not. I will make a dex check for you, Cheshire.
Dex check? She gonna chuck something at him?
18. Yeah, yeet. She basically she doesn't actually say that. I'm joking.
I was
with
about
you.
to say, I'm like, I will kill you.
No, she doesn't actually say that, but she grabs a scroll and just haphazardly just chucks it over her shoulder, and it lands almost perfectly in Cheshire's hand.
Oh.
There you go, sending spell. I made it 5 years ago or something like that. I forgot how much time I've spent making these things. I'll give you a use of it.
I don't think I can use this.
I could probably. Karg offers his hand.
Yeah, just tell him that we won't be able to make it back. Stay home and stay safe.
Alright, I'll do that. He takes it and he opens the scroll up, and after the spell begins, he closes it, just kind of puts his hands together. Listen, we're staying on the island. Don't come just yet. Get some rest. We'll be focusing on figuring out what's going on here. Karg.
Ah, perfect.
24 words. He makes like an okay hand, just like.
I counted 25.
25? Exactly. Well, he's like, yeah, I'm doing better than I thought.
I
Ellie
look
was confused.
over to Snow and I motion without saying anything to the cave entrance in a should we go over kind of
Gesture.
sense. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we're out of character gonna scare this poor woman if she comes down this cave. And she's probably gonna do something terrible.
Don't worry. Treasure was also so can we maybe say that now?
Stay the night. Oh, she straightens up like a. I hadn't even thought about that. Is that like a sleepover? I haven't had a
Yeah, it's a
sleepover since
sleepover.
my sister's.
Essentially.
Oh, how long
Sister?
ago? Yes, I've had several sisters. I had a daughter once too. Lovely thing. She had to leave though. Bigger, better things in life, of course. I've considered having more children, but the first one took so much out of me. She like makes a shrug, was like, eh.
Well, if we can, we do
I
have more
would like
people.
to that I file that away.
Okay.
We do have
I'm
more
gonna-
people with us. We're just like the scouting party, so to speak.
But of
Yeah.
course, your adventurers are always sending scouting parties in first. Thankfully, you ran across me instead of that big old crocodile. He's got such a nice smile, but he always is so mean.
Maybe he's hungry.
He's fat.
Yeah. So with that, I'll when I hear that, I'll tell Elisha. I'll just like hold up a single finger, like wait.
She goes through the books a little bit more, and then she's like,
Ma'am, I have a question for you while you look around.
Huh?
Do you feed a possum that comes around here?
I throw scraps at it from time to time. Mostly, there's an edible fungus that sometimes grows around here that is quite nutritious for creatures such as it. Why do you ask?
Because we found a really fat one that was just wandering around.
Oh, he's still alive! He hasn't been eaten yet. That's wonderful. Hopefully he doesn't get eaten. That would be terrible.
You didn't notice me and I'm pretty big and unsneaky, so I really do hope he's alright.
He's a little dumb. Yes, I would agree with that. Then again,
But
he's also
after-
fat.
So GM, after a minute or two, I'll signal to Elisha and kind of do a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then we can go in.
Okay.
All right.
And then
I thought y'all are going in
he
preparing
can go
for battle.
wherever he wants. Stop him, but
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
about 30 seconds of waiting, just because she's impatient, she might have called you guys out.
I mean, we didn't wait that long. So.
Yeah, not really that long. So yeah, it's after that 3, 2, 1. There's the like soft splashing sound, and you see as she's like grabbing a book and pulling it up, she pauses, sets it back down, turns over, and just like looks down the hallway. And before you guys step to the light, she's like, "People, friends."
Wait,
Looks over to you
Drew.
three.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about something. I might know a little bit about
Actually,
what's happened. You know why? Or like not specifically here, but like with the kings.
I'd say you can roll
I-
a history check. Do you
I
want me to roll
assume
it for you?
Cheshire is like I assume Cheshire is like 1/4 of the way done with the total history of whatever this place.
Right. 12. Hellison, you're aware of some of the things. Thing is, the main point of history that you remember, specifically from stuff that has been discussed, especially by this lady, is that in Hellison, you noticed that there was a stir, especially amongst the persecution of Genasi that were not fire Genasi.
It's all coming together one by one. And Cheshire says that out loud, right?
Ah! You are understanding things? Oh, good. I like understanding things. And
Well,
hello to you
That's
too.
because I guess
Hmm?
portals coming up, so maybe Ganassi are getting basically racism started about them because of different portals spreading.
I didn't even know about the racism. Perhaps I need to go out more. Yeah, I should probably go ask the sparrows every now and then. 1 second here. She claps her hands and she does a little finger wiggle again, and from the side of the wall you see a little as it's not the most comfortable looking, but 5 slabs of stone slide out like a pull-out couch, and the water just
Now that's a rest Cheshire's used to.
and the water actually sloshes towards you, and then for a second, then just like before it reaches your legs, it just like sloshes away down the caverns. She does take a point to like pause and be like, "I haven't seen a cat folk around in some time. You must be from much further away than you look. Are you well? Are you doing? Do you need me to feed you something?"
Is she talking to me?
Yes, you. She's looking directly at you with just this kind old lady who loves cats smile.
Oh, she's a crazy little cat lady.
I'm gonna look at both caught off guard and put off by the fact that she's treating me like almost like a pet.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite like a pet, and so I don't say anything. But I'm like, I appreciate the offer, ma'am, but I'm fine. And I'm insight checking her again because I do not trust her.
And of course, roll another insight check.
Dang it! That's a 10.
I don't know what we're saving it up for, but we're saving it up for something.
We're saving up for something big, man.
Obviously.
Comes back, it's gonna come back with a vengeance.
She
You're gonna roll
seems.
like insight to see if a cat likes you or not. It's gonna be in that 20.
Of course.
I'm gonna be really pissed if that happens. Me like, man, I am a cat. What are you talking? Of course I know that.
My goodness. She seems very genuine. Very earnest. Doesn't really seem to be lying or throwing herself out in such a way that would make you think that she's in some way being a threat. She's just an old lady. Likes cats. Hasn't seen one of your kind in some time. She doesn't
Sort
like
of.
ruffle your hair or anything like that. She just asks you politely as you're a person.
Uh-huh.
Can I insight check her now that I'm a little closer? Like, I'm getting vibes off this.
Guru, I'm also gonna whisper something too.
Whisper away.
Oh, there it is!
Everything that I just said. And you also do notice that there's a little bit of that crazy.
All right, you want to know what a whisper, Guru?
Mhm.
He'll like you guys see him point to like 2 of the beds. He basically whispers, "Can you put those 2 together? We got some lovebirds on our hands."
She makes like a conspiratorial scandalous, and then she makes a little like holds her hands from side to side and then like points them inwards, and you see the 2 just and makes them into a singular connected bed, as it were.
You're welcome.
We went from 2 twins to a full.
Yeah, that was not what I had.
Obviously.
What was that about some crazy guru?
She's definitely she is a feeling that she's definitely there's a sense of like disjointed anxiousness, as though she has probably not been around people in some time, so she's trying not to over push it, but at the same time she's just
What kind of anxiousness did you say?
like the anxiousness of like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to people again. I really don't want to be annoying, but at the same time I really want to be talking to people again.
Mm.
And so when
It's
like
I would say it's that mood of like looking at someone screaming on the street and trying to figure out are they crazy or do they have like an earpiece in?
mhm.
It's hard.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
So it's enough to know that she's been away from people for quite some time. For quite a while. And after a moment, she kind of just stares at you all. Oh shoot! I was going to get you something. What was it that I was getting for you again? If you don't know and I don't know, that's perfectly fine.
Food, I think you were talking about something like that.
Food?
You said you wanted to feed the cat guy.
I do have some
Okay,
food I
his
can
name
get
is
you.
Snow.
Hello,
Out of
Snow.
character, Guru. Did she say she was gonna get something? Because we would have been listening.
When she threw the scroll of sending,
Yeah.
she had been looking for something else and she forgot.
Okay.
So whether or
I'll-
not she said that she was going to get it, she's at the moment just like, did I say I was going to get something?
I'll point over to her book/scroll shelf, and I'll say,
Did it have anything to do with any of those?
Possibly. More than likely. I have many books that I have kept over the years.
You got any interesting ones? I enjoyed it.
What's your preference?
Got anything written in Infernal or Halfling? Those are two languages I know that I like to, keep honing my skills.
Halfling, actually. You are someone who has a good palette of languages. Give me a moment. She glides over again. She takes only like a couple seconds and she pulls out, as she's pulling out a book, she's like about to throw it to you, then she pauses and is like, what kind of book are you looking for?
Dealer's Choice. I already have a cookbook.
Curses! Hold on. Before I roll this, by the way, Ellie. Perisu.
Paris did say she had to be right
Well,
back.
good thing, because I was gonna let her know because she had been asking a thing, and I'm like, so let me see which book she gives you. Can't believe I.
I'm back.
Ironically, you were back right as I'm about. Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Also, by the way, Matt, every time I leave, you roll a nat 20, so.
Ooh, interesting. She pulls out a halfling book, and she stares at the cover for a moment, like it's almost like a wistful kind of smile on her face as she kind of runs her finger across it for a second before looking up from it slowly and seeming to have an idea in her head before nodding yes, perfect, this would be great. She moves over and she again slides over and she sets a book in front of you that's written in halfling, and she's like, this book will be, I imagine, quite nice for you to read, or at the very least very enlightening.
Is she talking to me?
No, she's saying this to Cheshire, who asked if he had
Cheshire
Okay.
requested something to read.
Yep.
What's it called? I
it is-
love doing it.
It is called The Height of Fire.
Cheshire has a slight non-flashback. Then
Yeah.
a slight non-flashback. Then returns back to home.
I got this off of a trader, a good 6 months ago or so. It might have useful details from the halfling point of view. Well, granted, it may just have little tidbits here and there that are just nice to read on. Let me go get you some food while you're here. I can't leave you on an empty stomach.
Oh,
Well, she's-
she didn't. Paris didn't see what Cheshire did.
What did you do?
Oh, I told the old lady that we had lovebirds. Could you put two of the beds together?
And she immediately slid them together into a singular room
Oh,
for
how
two.
did Karg react to that?
Karg just put his hand to his face, just like, I'm aware of his dry humor. I know that he is actually trying to be supportive and helpful, but at the same time, why? He's saying none of this, but he's just like, just because he's right.
Do I see it on his face?
Kind of, yeah. He's not being very subtle about it.
She kind of nudges him. Do you want me to move the bed?
He shakes his head like, no, I'm fine. Also, Ellie, as you've been sitting here, let me actually pull something up here right quick. Ellie.
I want to know, Guru, how thick this book.
This is almost like a textbook.
Oh my gosh, he is collecting big old books! Yay!
Ellie, this book that you had kind of tossed in your direction, it's written in Orcish.
Huh?
Yeah. And it has nothing written on the front of it, but it has appears to be like an embroidered cover that has an image of, it looks like to be a woman dressed in very summer looking clothing, like holding her arms out, and not sure what else this is supposed to portray, but it looks pretty.
Tusk love, tusk love, tusk love.
Can I skip it?
You can also look at the spine.
Oh,
Oscar.
it's on the spawn.
On the spine, it says wildfire. Separation between the words.
There's like you got a lot of.
Can I skim it?
What's your? Do you have anything to your investigation score?
I'm thankful. Hang on. Sorry, I have food.
Make me hungry.
By the way, Guru Cheshire's already just sat down and is like reading this book.
Nope. Other than a -1.
Okay, so with a 9
Oh.
passive investigation, you just like flip through it like real fast. You like do the thing where you go through it and just like go back to the beginning and like read like a little bit of it. Just reading like the first page real quick, it like seems to be building up like some sort of scene in a forest or something like that. I mean, it's probably about something wild and something like that. So it might have some good fighting in there. It might have some other stuff that you're
I
like.
don't even get to roll. He just says fuck you.
I mean, if you want to know what it's about, you read it.
You see,
Or I can
this
just ask the lady.
Cheshire does these things.
I'm gonna hand it to Karg and see if he can skim it because I'm curious. Watch him like have a decent enough intelligence that he just like slams it shut and immediately like
I
slides
would say
it
watch him
over.
have reading glasses he owns.
He basically does the same thing as you do. He has a +0, so he reads through the first page and kind of shrugs, just like, looks like it'd be a decent enough read. I might actually ask to borrow it later.
Watch this shit be some Harlequin fucking shit.
I hope it is.
Don, can I roll a D100?
For what?
I want to open, just see what I find.
You're just opening to a random page?
That's why I said, can I roll a D100?
The smell of
see
his
what it
musk
is.
filled the room.
Roll a D200. Okay.
That's a
200.
That's a 200.
That's 112.
I thought you
No,
You said roll
a D200.
Oh, you said a D200.
I did say
okay,
a
good, so
D200.
not
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
I'm like, what?
No,
I
she's not
heard
crazy.
100.
You know, 200.
Well,
You're-
whether she's crazy or not has nothing to do with the fact that she heard you.
Yes,
That's
she heard
true.
me.
That's a
She
totally
heard me.
different-
You
Okay,
didn't,
now
but she
look
heard me
here,
right.
ho.
Opening it up to this is well past the midway point. So you're like, it's probably got some decent stuff in it, right? And like the start of the page is clearly like mid-paragraph on something, as it goes into the march was brutal, as we tore through the fields. There was no way for us to hold off on getting to our destination. We couldn't stop. We had to keep going. And as you kind of like skim through the rest of the page, it sounds like they're either moving away from something or you're like, what did I miss? It's already got your attention with which, hold on, what?
Guru,
Alright.
which of the books did I read so far again?
You have the cookbook. You have currently the Height of Fire. Was there another book that you had?
I swear I did, but I cannot remember.
Did you put it in your inventory?
Not sure.
You do have a History of Vicgens, which is Vicgens is the continent you're on. That was the other one. I will
Which I
add.
don't even know. That's the one I've been focusing on reading, which I'm not sure how far into it I am.
With the time you've spent reading it, you actually have a decent read into it, which is basically like reading a history book. Again, it's very textbook, very much something like that. But there are sections of it where it'll have like text from specific people, where it actually reads more like a narrative, like someone actually trying to explain to you in such a way that it fills out more of how things were at that time. It's clear that whoever had written this put a lot of time and effort into actually making this a good book, and to making it something that like you could read like the history parts of it and be like, okay, cool, and then you could flip to the sections where it's like someone actually writing, like trying to like say, I implore you to understand this is what we were going through, so you could actually be like, okay, so this is perspective, this is that perspective. In fact, VicGens at the start of it was not divided into the 4 countries it was until a good 100 years after people actually started, having culture and whatnot. Which is something that you know.
So he's gonna put basically a bookmark, and he goes, "I'd love to read the book you gave me. Not sure if I'd be able to get done with it tonight.
Of course.
Would you possibly trade?"
What do you have to offer? She sits down very interested, just scoots forward she scoot. Yes.
It's not what I have, but it's what I can make. I'm a clay crafter, and he'll take out his mask. He goes, "I can make pots and things like that, and it doesn't take me too long, really. Or I
Wonderful.
can make small clay statues. If you want a statue of your daughter, if you could describe her to me, I could possibly make one of her."
Like me, but younger. Softer chin. She didn't have she points to her chin, and she it's an average looking chin, maybe a little bit knobby at the tip of it. Not nearly as pointed. Very soft features. Younger. Eyes always seemed to twinkle whenever she got an idea and get herself all mischievous. And she wore a thick gator skin cloak. She always did love that thing.
Guru, I will just make her a D&D mini of her daughter.
Okay. You'll be able to spend the time doing that, no issue there. And so you guys are taking a long rest here?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
At least spends a while talking to this old lady.
Okay. And she's happy to talk to you.
And if I ever make a mistake of how it's made, Cheshire goes, "By the way, please correct me if I make a mistake."
I will let you know. No worries at all. And she spends some time just.
Wait, Don.
Yes.
I have
go ahead.
one final question.
Yes.
Remember how before we left that small town, right before we got to the one being assaulted by giants, I said I was trying to basically permanently ingrain in my head Dwarvish?
Mm-hmm.
How am I coming along with that?
It's definitely taking some time, especially since you don't have anyone to kind of bounce it with you, who really knows Dwarvish, aside from... Actually, does anyone else in the party know Dwarvish? I don't think so.
Nope.
I know Cheshire doesn't because he's Halfling Infernal. Elisha, do you know Dwarvish?
I sure don't.
So you're working on it. It's stunted slightly by the fact that you don't have anyone to practice it with. The main way that you can probably have tried to circumvent it is probably just talking with Karg or Elisha, just being
Yeah,
sorry,
why
just
don't you talk to...
Huh?
Why don't you talk to Karg in Dwarvish?
There's
He'd
very-
really
okay, so,
appreciate
can I
it.
say
No, I know.
Can
yeah.
I say a specific sentence?
Mhm.
Or, excuse me,
Mhm.
can I say certain sentences?
I mean, you can say anything you want in Dwarvish.
She
As long as
says
you're wearing a belt.
she says something very long-winded to Card. And then turns back and talks to the old lady without telling him what the fuck she just said.
He holds up his arms, just what the hell? And she when you turn back to the lady, she's staring at you for a moment, and then she slowly grins. He doesn't know, does he? And she says in Dwarvish.
Please tell me you basically just said along the effects of blah 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 blah
No,
Yeah.
blah.
no.
Oh boy.
Hang on. I'm going to just send to Dawn what she just said.
Okay. Just a quick overarching. That's a thing.
There you go.
Yeah, she is looking like she's trying so hard not to just start clapping her hands together rapidly. She is clearly just in that, ooh, I'm not gonna say anything, I don't want to give it away.
The two who could read her or who has seen her personality the most, I think, would be Elisha and Karg, considering that Ellie has been going to Elisha for a lot of shit, so...
Karg's not rolling anything, he's just she just said
Elisha
things to
could
me in
roll
Dwarvish,
insight
what the
then.
hell?
Roll what?
Insight.
Okay.
For-
okay.
Okay.
You say that, but all Cheshire does is observe things, though. To be fair,
I mean, you can go ahead and roll that. I mean, Dawn's gonna have to roll for you, actually, now that I think about it.
Alright, we'll roll it for him. Yes, I roll in that nice insight again. Insight. 7.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll
No, no
good
shit.
one day.
Elisha can see the faintest bit of embarrassment on her face.
Like, what kind of embarrassment? There's a lot of kinds of embarrassment.
That is
Embarrassment in that she just said something that would embarrass her directly to Karg. And it's essentially, it is something like, I can say this to you because I can get away with it because you don't understand me.
Huh.
She just said something along the lines of like, "Fuck my brains out."
Yeah, more than likely.
As far as
Awesome.
you've seen with this girl, she does not have sexual urges.
No,
that
but it's
doesn't
something you
mean
do
that
to
she
mess
would
with him.
Punk her fiance.
Yeah.
In fact, she would absolutely
And she-
punk her fiance.
Actually, you also know that she wouldn't be embarrassed by sex either.
That's true.
With that insight as well. I'll give you that one.
That's true.
Wouldn't.
No, Elisha wouldn't. Cheshire, with that insight, you probably do. Because you rolled his head.
Oh, goodness.
But yes, ma'am. That rock you're talking about? Do you know what we could be speaking of? When we say rock with a hole in it, where the voice of a little girl comes out.
I can look for a book on it. Would you like me to do that?
Sure.
Alright. She goes over and she goes through a few things like, oh, where did our little books go? Books go.
I'd like to walk up to her at this point, now that I finally have a chance to say something.
Go ahead.
I'll walk up to her and say, "So, ma'am, what's your name again?"
Hello there. She pops up. She's like, oh, it's you. You've come to speak to me. Yay! I am blessed.
Hi there.
Hi. Oh, right.
Uh,
You were asking my name. My apologies. Hindela Cindemal.
Okay. It is nice to meet you, Hendala. I have a question, if you don't mind me asking.
Yes.
How long have you been in this cave?
Most of the year.
Most of a year.
At least I think it's been a year. It's hard to tell with the no lights being from this, area.
No access to sunlight, of course.
I am afraid of getting struck by lightning even during the day. Mostly because I summoned an elemental and I had lightning strike me, but you know how it is.
Absolutely. I have no idea what that's like. I don't even really know what she's talking about when she talks about elementals. So,
Of course.
I was gonna ask you something.
Take your time.
So, have you figured out any reasons why there might be, just between you and me, have you figured out any reasons why there might be lightning striking so much?
Magic from the elemental planes. Hopefully it's not too near to a tempest. Oh, those things can be quite frightful. I've never seen one up close, but apparently they wish only the destruction of all things around them. Not that I know
Why
anything
not
about
come
that.
back to her talking about destruction?
She is talking to Snow at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, and she didn't know that I was listening in earlier, so I am playing it off.
That being said, I'm sure that it's fine. At least I hope it is. Oh goodness, what if it isn't? What if there's more? What if there's something? I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. I am panicking. I shouldn't be.
Ellen will
Everything will
rub
be
her
fine.
back just to calm her down.
Oh, thank you, dear. You are so very nice.
I just don't want you to freak out and pass out.
Well,
I
is there any
won't.
way that end the lightning?
Possibly. I mentioned it to your friends. They actually know on the map where it would be, but I believe that there was a planar portal to the plane of air that was subjectively opened to the north. Maybe about 5 or so miles.
Actually, do
a
you
good
know
hour's journey or so, give or take, of course.
Do you know any way to close a portal like that?
One of your friends mentioned the dispersal of magic. I myself do not have such skills. Dispersing magic is not my thing. I like to create things. She motions to the beds, like so. And she
What
motions
are
to the
you
table.
anyway? Like, what kind of magic user?
Magic.
Accurately.
She wiggles her fingers.
One of her eyes squints as she looks at this old lady like, eh?
I like to use various types of magic, conjuring things, bringing things
Inside
to
check.
existence. Yep, roll an insight check. Go ahead. Bringing things into existence. I love the feel, the form of
The
creation.
feel of creation?
Yes.
Sure, let's see.
I mean, I
17.
can understand that ever so slightly.
Also, out of character, the term like warlock, wizard, and sorcerer is actually in like the worlds.
Yes.
I don't know about gurus, but
Yeah,
no, and,
but
like
I
it's
don't know
very
if Ellie-
rarely used.
I
Yeah.
don't know if
There's a-
Ellie knows like all forms of magic users is my problem.
No worries.
No, I'm saying almost no one does. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Oh.
trying to say. Like,
Like-
yeah, because like the terms warlock, wizard, sorcerer are almost never used because it's just like, oh, they're magic.
Yeah.
See, I've seen Dawn use it, it's fine.
I'd say is one of the places where that is a specific terminology to distinguish certain people. Like wizards are generally people who are more book studied. Warlocks are hated because of the reasons I've mentioned before there. Sorcerers and such are actually generally rolled in with wizards, usually. And druids are, upheld. Clerics are the healers, of course, and paladins
Basically, the rednecks of magic.
are... basically,
Girlfriend.
yeah.
Magic.
That being said,
Hey, I play a redneck cleric.
hey,
Well,
he's
I
a
don't know
good
if he
boy.
counts.
He's a
I don't
good
know if he
boy.
counts as redneck. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
redneck doesn't mean bad. It's
No.
Oh.
He's just a
No, I
good
mean
boy.
like
Full on
physically
redneck.
wise. I don't know.
You country boy.
He's full on redneck country
He
boy.
definitely a country
Wow,
boy.
my accent came out.
According to Paris, I'm just a French redneck. According to Paris.
You are. He's fucking
I'm trying to
Cajun.
imagine both those accents rolled into one.
It's Cajun, man. It's Cajun. Méché.
Fair enough.
Méché.
Asian, yes. that's-
Méché is one of my favorite Cajun phrases, which means "oh shit." Méché.
Oh,
That being said, no, I'm gonna bother.
Do I detect like?
Hold on, hold on. I understand what you're saying.
Technical lies.
You
No. I what I'm trying to see is, like, is her thing? Is it like a pure joy, or is there more malicious intent behind it?
she rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
She
Yep,
like she was trying to hide the fact that creation is almost an addiction for her.
Oh.
Like when she talking about it, she's like hugging herself slightly, just like I just the magic
She's,
is
like,
just so
getting off
unique.
on it or something. Like,
Not fully to that extent, but you get the sense that it's pretty close.
okay, so there's something unstable about this. Okay,
Slightly. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I need you to just
Calm down. Calm down.
we don't need to get that deep into that just yet.
Did your daughter have dimples? And it just keeps working.
Cheshire
Yes,
is like-
yes, she did. She did. Thank you for reminding me. You are the most attentive person I've ever had the pleasure of speaking with. Thank you so much.
You notice his like very small tool is almost comical as he's trying to get in finer details into the carving or into the clay. Seeing Cheshire make something that's not a mask is actually kind of weird of how into it he gets.
I mean, it's a man creating something. He enjoys creation.
That he does.
Not to this crazy lady's extent, but
so
No.
now that I have, so I'm gonna keep that to myself. Not gonna mention that to anybody at the moment. And then
I mean, we all got it, so.
Mhm. Yeah, she was not at all being.
and I thought that was nobody else was really paying attention. Like people were reading or making stuff, and so I figured.
Elisha was paying attention.
I
I'm
was.
talking to her.
Yeah, so those people. would
Cheshire's the only one that didn't. Cheshire doesn't care about it at all.
Okay.
Cheshire's just trying to get this book to be hit.
Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna go find. She made beds, right?
She
Yes.
made slabs.
She made slabs that you can throw your bedroll
That's fine. That's all I need.
Mhm.
I will choose one of. I'll see that there's like a bigger slab, and then I'll just get like right in the middle of it, so I'm taking up the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Nice, nice, nice.
Well,
Cheshire
so
comes
much
and
for
sits
rabbit.
next to you. Cheshire comes and sit like the foot of your bed and goes, "Hey, Snow,
Yes.
why did you come with us? Not that I hate you or anything, but we're not the most sane of people." Which you picked out immediately when one of our members immediately tried to fight you. So, why did you come with us?
Well, to be fair, Cheshire, a desire for battle is not necessarily a sign of craziness. I understand that urge.
No, it is when she gets excited about it. I'll stand by that statement.
You're allowed to stand by that statement. However, enjoying the rush of adrenaline that comes from an actual fight is not uncommon. I was a soldier. I've seen it before. It wasn't until you started chopping down trees and then they rushed in with a slab of meat to try and distract crocodiles that I started getting the sense that there was really something wrong with these people. And now I'm stuck on this island, so at the very least, I'm with you until we get off of this island. And I'd rather not get struck by lightning, so if nothing else, we have a mutual goal. And on top of that, while strange and possibly will be the death of me, I do find it somewhat entertaining, your antics. So, there is that.
Die for a sense of humor.
Exactly. What's your intentions?
That's a rather broad question.
Axe it.
Wait, what'd you say? I didn't hear that last part.
He said, and I axed it.
Then you're gonna get a broad answer. I'm just looking for answers.
What's your intentions with our group?
Well, it's nothing malicious, if that's what...
Say that one more time.
He said
It's nothing malicious, if that's what you were thinking.
You know about a lot of shit.
Do I?
From what little I remember of after getting pissed drunk, yes, you do.
I tried not to listen in too much. I respect every person's privacy. So you don't have to worry about my lips saying something that they shouldn't. Especially if you ask me.
No, I don't worry about anything really. I worry about people fucking us over. That's about it. I just know, you say shit, you'll have a dark blue tiefling aimed at your back, but I don't think you're gonna. Which, to be fair, this is not a threat in any way, is why you're still currently with us. I don't believe you're gonna do shit. So, you're still here. Yeah. I just wanted to let you know that if you think I don't like you at all, I do like you a little bit. Well, I'm fairly neutral towards you at the moment, but just don't fuck us over is the main point of us of this conversation.
Okay. Seeing as how at the moment screwing your party over would probably mean the death of me as well, you can be reasonably sure that's not the problem. And, like you said, I'm not one to talk unless I really need to. So, as long as I have no reason to, you have nothing to fear.
Also, get up. I want to see Karg blush a little bit. Then he just pass you on the...
You try to, I'll just move out of the way.
Did you get up onto the double bed one?
Yes!
Okay.
Yeah, I got up into the center of it, clearly
He
claiming
did it like a cat, essentially. You know how if a couple sleeps together, their cat will sometimes just go between
Wait,
them?
are they on the bed?
No.
Okay,
But that's essentially
what I
where you're
thought.
sitting, where
No.
a normal cat would
If
be.
they were on the bed, I would have found somewhere else. I would not
Right,
have
but no,
gotten-
No,
she's been
you're the
talking to
place
the lady, and you left, and all of a sudden you just got onto the thing, just like dup dup dup, and Karg just like stares at you for a second, and, like it takes him a couple of seconds to be like, oh, he's going to sleep. Looks away, looks back. Wait a minute.
My bed!
he doesn't say anything. He just kind of like motions to it, motions back to everyone else, motions back to it, just like what?
Come on, hop off. Get. So if you get the spray bottle.
Great bottle! In the
No,
world,
no.
right.
I can gladly take care of it. Oh, he's taking up he's just like a cat. Sorry. Whoop.
Why is she making that noise?
She likes cats.
Oh dear.
She pushes in one of the other ones with magic and then pulls the other one out more. So that.
Thank you very much, Indela. I appreciate it.
Of course. Please, by all means, enjoy your sleep. I will be taking
I'll
a
just
nap myself.
give a look to.
Wait! What just happened?
outside.
He stole your bed.
No,
And so
I know
she-
that, but I'm saying, did she just like lengthen one and then pull another to it?
No, she lengthened one and pushed another one into the wall.
So I guess we're sleeping with Snow.
No.
No. His one
made another
remained. She took one of the ones that was already pulled out as a bed, made it longer so that it would fit two people, and then made one of the other ones that was also out, pushed into the wall. So it is a double
Okay.
bed now for both of you to be able to lay upon.
I was
So does that mean
confused.
I have to sleep with them?
No, that means there's another bed that
Oh
is
my Lord,
available.
There's
that
another
you
double
and
bed, essentially,
Elisha,
is what she did.
Yes, you and Elisha still have a bed that is completely your own. Karg and Ellie have one that is for the two of them.
No, but logically she would have had to take another one out because she made enough for us. Two of them were already combined. Yes.
Yes.
That means one disappeared, one more got connected, which means there's six, or no, there's what, four of us.
Oh my
Four
goodness, I
beds
did the
start-
math wrong! She pulls out another one.
Exactly. Okay. I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy, no. You did the math right. You just look at her face as she suddenly realizes what she did. And is like, I am so sorry. That was my bed. I miscounted. I just
You don't
was
think
just
Carl would mind if
imagining.
I slept on the floor?
Here you go.
I
Let it
think you would.
dry.
It's water.
Heat it in an oven or something. Yeah, either works. And his hands on the mat.
She looks at Karg
the,
as she-
the beds that she made for us wet?
No.
she's looking at Karg as she says that.
So I'm now curled up and asleep.
Okay. No. Do not sleep on the floor. Like pointing at you, just like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. He motions over. Come on and get some sleep. Come on.
What? I'm having fun talking to her.
Then come to sleep when you're ready. He takes off his boots and like tries to make sure he doesn't touch the water before sliding back and just like, thump. Ow.
You
He
shouldn't
takes out his
have
bedroll.
done that.
He takes out the bedroll and he takes off the scale mail and just kind of like looks around. and just, like,
Actually,
just sets it
ma'am,
down. Yes.
you know, anything that has to do with any sort of healing for more sensitive areas, not crotch.
Bow, 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 bow.
Such as.
He has scarring that's sore.
She slides. She slides.
Don't
through
make me
water.
get out my saxophone, would you?
Right?
I don't want.
That's not even me this time.
She slides over to
Okay.
Karg and Karg.
that
just
was
kinda-
me.
Yeah, no
that
worries.
was whistling Carol's Whispers.
No worries. He makes that joke a lot too, so we were ready for it. We just weren't
Yeah.
expecting it from
Then it's
you.
a joke in good taste.
Yes,
It
yes,
sure
it
is.
We all appreciate your good taste. She slides over to him, like he immediately is like against the wall, just like. She kind of cricks her finger slowly, and he's just like. She like stares at him like that angry mom. Just, you will do it. He's like looks away. She makes a whole hand gesture, like, if I have to do more than this, and he's like
It reminds
being
me of
obstinate. Your mother,
Mom.
yeah.
It's resisting.
He's resisting.
Don't make me come over there.
Don't worry about that.
Would you two lovebirds quiet down and get in the same bed already? It's
No,
not
no,
like-
don't worry about it. You get some rest. You
Well, until-
grabs his
until-
leg, and he's just like,
Stop yelling! I can't go to sleep.
I'm working on it. She like as she says this, you see her just full on drag Karg to the edge of the bed.
Get out of here. Excuse me.
Whoa!
Actually, hold on. Let me see if contested strength real quick. Nope, he rolled a natural 1. She just drags him to the edge, but he's also just like.
Is she showing any sign of exertion? Oh boy.
I have it on iTunes, baby.
Of course you do.
Of course you
Butters,
do.
Of course you do. But is she showing like any signs of exertion, like difficult for her?
Not super difficult enough that it's like it's like this is like as she just yanks him to the edge. She definitely has to exert herself, but
My gosh.
like wrinkled as
Okay,
she has,
I can't-
she's young enough to be able to just pull this off.
Ellie fell out of her chair laughing at Car.
He fell into the water.
Yes!
Ooh.
Okay.
Elisha is like open
Ellie
mouthed,
sings.
shocked. Like how? What's the size difference comparison between Karg and this woman?
Let me pull up her height real quick.
Look, like he described her as small, so I can't imagine she's too tall.
Yeah, I know.
Also, Paris, I sent you a thing real quick. Just
Nigga,
DM it to me,
what?
please. Just DM it to me.
Okay.
Karg is 7'5".
Yeah.
This woman is about 5'3".
What the fuck?
She got
Make
taken
a
down.
yo, Elisha, make a insight check.
With or without advantage?
Just straight.
Damn.
What you get? It's
9.
9. I'll let
Nine?
you two if you want one. And Ellie.
18. See, I just rolled to GM on accident.
Ever seen Cheshire get to smile?
So all of a sudden, he's just like, you almost, like, a brief, almost whisper on the
Insight
wind.
Rock.
Well, sorry. The closest you ever seen sober Cheshire to smiling. There you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, Don, what the hell was that for?
Also, best believe if you guys ever have any romantic scenes, I have this song on ready, just on deck. I'm gonna be ready.
Mhm. This doesn't surprise me.
Just I'm not playing as loud next time.
No, he'll play it louder.
Obviously.
Hand a fireplace. Roll performance.
I still want to see a character with haste try to take flight. If you get what I meant by that, congrats.
Out of character.
No worries. So Karg, he's like, eventually he kind of puts his feet into the water because he's a big boy. He's like, is you sure this is safe? Yeah, of course, it is perfectly fine. She like waits for a moment and then she's just kind of like, shut up, up, come on. He like stares at her for a moment, slowly just.
She just
pulls.
dragged you down to bed, dude. You might
Yeah,
want to
he-
do what she says.
He's finally listening. You listed up on the side where there is a very clear lightning bolt mark that runs down one side of his body, as well as heat marks. They're actually, I don't think any of you are proficient in medicine, but I'm still gonna let you roll it anyway for those who are able to see it.
Is
Snow,
it about
you're-
anatomy?
Yes, it is. So you would be able
You
to.
know,
Yeah,
you
roll
know
that.
Yeah,
I'll roll
Cheshire
it for
knows a
you.
lot about that. Yeah.
Nope.
You had me roll a medicine check a long while ago, so I think I already know about the scarring.
No, roll again.
Alright.
Cheshire got a 13.
I have a high wisdom. I don't know if that counts.
If you're
Okay, look, Butters.
Yeah.
the barbarians are in
Stop.
sync. The
This
barbarians
is the
are
third
in sync.
time that Cheshire and Ellie have rolled the exact same thing on a roll with the exact same modifier.
My question is, Guru, do I get anything extra from Cheshire's only thing he's ever actually full on
I-
studied?
I
was
will.
anatomy?
I will
rolled a
review that.
22.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Jeez.
would have, but I don't care because I'm sleeping. So.
Yes. So you're
I'll
just,
take that 22.
no,
I've
you got
already
five.
figured out what's happened, and I'm just off to bed.
You're like noticing it. You hear him pull up his shirt. You look down because you're like, what, are they trying to? And they're not getting it on. His side's just glowing slightly. You know, the normal stuff.
His side's just glowing.
Yeah, Elisha, you're staring at it, you're like, okay, my mind is telling me something's off, but
Detect magic on his torso.
Cheshire and Ellie, the heat scars, it's definitely like a bruised, disproportionate green because he's an orc. He's got green skin. Nothing new there.
Yeah.
The lightning
That's
bolt
racist.
marks. I mean,
It's true.
hold on. There's a reason for it.
Just messing around.
The lightning bolt scar that is running down his side, which is running from like is running down predominantly his right side at the moment. Was it right to left? I'm going through
It
that.
was his right side.
Yes, it was his right side. It's definitely scarred, burnt, and you can almost see his heartbeat with the way it has a faint, almost electric yellow pulse.
Yeah, that's some Attack on Titan stuff right there.
So, Hark, I have a question for you.
Hmm?
Was your heartbeat always visible via pulsating scarring?
What? He looks down at it and he's just like,
Can I look at mine?
yeah. With the same medicine check, you pull it, you kind of pull it, just kind of look. You were struck 3 times. Yours has a slightly stronger glow to it than his, but you do have a similar pulsing glow that your heartbeat's usually very steady. And so you're able to just, like, as you watch it, you can see it pulsing in time with your heartbeat.
You would also
Okay, I'm
notice
sorry,
you're looking at both their heartbeats. Cheshire's is a little bit slower than Karg's, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go and I'm legit getting closer to Karg. I have to see this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay, so don't flinch, please. She very gently touched it to see if she can actually feel his heartbeat through this thing.
Not through it. Just like
He's wearing his heart on his sleeve.
you can feel your own heartbeat when you press it against it, but like you'd have to actually.
Wait, how do I feel my own heartbeat?
Sometimes when you put your finger against something, you can very faintly feel your own heartbeat. I've actually done it. I'm actually doing it right now with 2 of my fingers. Just finger against finger. You can sometimes feel your own heartbeat against your skin and your fingertips, but you're
I
not sure if
can't.
it's his. I have thin fingers, I guess. I have thick as hell veins and whatnot, so that's just weird TMI. Sorry about that. Moving on. But yeah, you do see that it is pulsing. If you move your hand like to his arm or to somewhere with a stronger vessel to check it, you would note that it does sync. Move over, dear. Move over. As you see her pick up some mud,
Okay.
and she puts it onto some cloth on the inside of just like slaps like 2 fingers, just drags across. You're like, hold still, and just kind of slaps it on his side, just over the thing. There you go. Give it about a while, and it should help to seep it out to prevent it from crippling you.
Ma'am? Why is it glowing like that?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's magical though. Probably.
What? No, this is this
out of character. Got it.
yeah. So as the result of my surprisingly good medicine check,
Yes.
would I have a guess as to what might have caused it? Not that I care. I just
Yeah, of
Not that
course.
he cares.
like.
But out of character, he
as a
cares.
person cares, but
You have seen a few marks like this before. Not necessarily exactly like this. It's something that you would see when someone is affected by a spellcaster. And
Dawn, you didn't.
I am
Would I know this?
Roll an Arcana check.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wait,
Would I?
Hold on, hold on.
yeah, you should know this, Elisha.
Wait, say it again, Guru?
Hold on. I'm letting her roll the Arcana. Okay, 21 Arcana check. This is a form of magical scarring, where
We've
if
been branded.
it's not like a brand so much as it is when someone is affected
brand.
by a magical effect, like from a spellcaster or something like that. It doesn't always like just go away. So, for example, say you get hit by
Eldritch Blast?
let's say Eldritch Blast. If you get hit by it, obviously, usually you think of it as being force damage, and then you can just heal it away. However, if say, and this is again hypothetical, one were to get, say, like a natural 20, there's a potential that even when the body is healed, the body will also remember being struck by it, and it will leave a magical impression on the skin. A scar that will actually reflect the damage dealt to them.
What a time for me to send you that shit.
I mean, to be fair, I was already planning on doing that, and so when you were doing it, I was trying so hard not to say anything, but I'm like, because I'd seen it before a while back, and like, I want to actually use this, and especially since, you know...
Wait, so it's like the body adapts to that specific type of damage?
No,
No.
it's just basically you get a scar that says you got hit with some sort of...
Basically, it's, I got hit by this particular spell, and all I got was this stupid scar. Everyone's cutting out on me. You guys okay? Is Discord doing the thing again? Discord's doing the thing again. Hold on. Hold on. Uh-oh. It's doing the thing again.
You're better.
Okay, good. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right. Basically, you know those shirts where it's like...
guys.
Oh,
I got it.
There we go.
There we go.
Don't move me. No.
Are you okay, Butters?
No, he's still in game time.
No, game!
I have to come willingly.
You're fine, Butters. No worries.
I will not be oppressed.
You're fine. You're fine, man. You guys can all hear me, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen, like, I went to Disney World and all I got was this stupid shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got struck by
Magical spell
lightning and all I
equivalent of
got
it.
is this stupid car.
The stupid scar, yeah. The
Nice.
stupid scar, yeah. Or in this case, yeah, for lightning, or say like the case of like a fireball. I failed a fireball and all I got was this stupid scar where you lived.
Please
but
tell me the lightning strike has a 3 somewhere in it. Just for me, it's just like a 3, and someone card there's a 2, and it's just like a random counter.
it's not, from the look of it, specifically intended to be so, but going down, yours has it going down slightly across the left side of your body, and it appears that part of the lightning conformed around 3 of your ribs, and the way the scar looks makes it almost look like it was forming a 3.
So I just like, well, add more scars to the collection, basically.
Basically.
Okay, well, cool.
Yep, he's just like, yep, seen it.
why don't you guys just a little bit of a favor, since I figure that Stone doesn't enjoy listening to other people talk, and I'm right next to him. Can you move me a bit further away from him? I like to talk before I sleep. Why? I'm terrified of this woman. Has Zom vanished? What happened?
Anybody there?
It muted me.
Oh, nice.
She motions to you. Where did I cut off at?
I didn't even get a response.
Yeah.
She said, "Get on the bed."
Oh, okay.
Go on.
I'll sit on the bed.
And you and Karg are just slid down the wall, giving a decent amount of room. She's like, "Remember to whisper." It's not that far away, but she makes it sound as though you're fading into the distance, and then she cackles to herself. She like pauses for a second. Oh, he forgot his boots. He'll get them in the morning, and then walks over to her bed, and just after a moment, she sits down and stares at you all, waves, "Good night," lays down on her bed.
Wow. That was fast.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So just curious, how much longer do you plan on having this session?
We're actually going to be wrapping up in just a moment here.
Okay, just double check.
No worries, we're hitting that point where we're at the end of the session. As you're all going to sleep,
Cheshire has a hard time going to sleep, but he does make it eventually.
Eventually, yes. I'm going to steal Butters.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. This don't have a good
Hello.
thing for God.
I'm stealing you. I've stolen you.
Okay, I've been stolen.
So, it's a little bit restless getting to sleep, as it usually
that's what I
is.
said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, the sound of the dripping water, the fact that you're able to actually lay down on something that's somewhat familiar gives you a chance to actually get a little bit of sleep. As you are drifting away, you don't remember when you open your eyes, but you see off to one side of you is a wall of molten fire. And in front of you is a
Molten
long
what?
fire.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yep. And in front of you is a path that seems to stretch out forever, as does the wall of molten fire. On the other side, you see structures, various things off in the distance. And floating, just kind of in front of you, is a smile. After a moment, the smile seems to fade out of existence, and then down the way in front of you on the path, another you appears. Mask on. Just staring at you. No weapon drawn, no weapon on him even, just staring at you.
Do I have my weapon on me?
You have your weapon on you.
I'll walk up to him if I can.
You walk up to him, and the distance is more of a, you take a step towards him, and it's like, shoo, you're right in front of him, immediately in one step.
I'll rip the mask off of him. Or attempt to, at least.
Okay. You reach up and you grab the mask and you tear it off of him, and when you do, you pull it off and you almost see a faint trickle of energy seem to be drawn away from him into the mask as his form shifts and he becomes younger. A reflection of himself, not the same as you, who is aged and worn, someone younger, someone more troubled. Kind of touches his face as though he's shocked and surprised and looks at you with wide, far too innocent eyes. He holds out a hand for the mask before seeming to flinch, looking at you. And then he slowly begins to just fade away.
He just stares at it, like unmoving. Mask, like mask on,
Mhm.
just staring.
The same
at
mask or your own mask?
It. Oh, I thought that was. I assumed that was mine.
It is yours. If you look into your pockets to see if you have your own mask, it is not in your pockets. You have the mask in your hand.
Yeah, he just puts on his mask.
You, as you're putting it on, you take a deep breath, you put it on, and as you do, feel the ground beneath you seem to rumble slightly. Like the world is moved just by you holding your breath, and the molten magma behind you slows to a crawl and then almost to a complete standstill, moving in slow motion. Look around. Everything's like almost like a time stop. See you moving. Everything else is just slowly, tick by tick, sliding along. And as you look around, you see from one of the structures another person just standing seemingly in the middle of the air, staring at you. The only thing that's discernible about it is that there's a large smile. Between you and them, there's no path. They're in the middle of the air.
How far in the air?
You can't see the bottom.
What?
If you look down the path, you cannot see the bottom. It is an endless void beneath their feet. Away from you, they're probably a good 60 feet to 100 feet away. Probably
I'll
close.
try to
Hmm?
move up.
You try and just walk over? Okay. Confident in yourself and in your belief that if you step forward, you will be able to find some purchase. You step forward and again, it's that one step and you're right in front of this figure. Around their neck, they have a collar of almost frigid ice-like spikes, almost like a collar around their neck. They have that big smile. No discernible features for a face, but there's just that ice that seems to fleck into the air. A distant cold, chill, brushing across your back. From where there was fire before, now there is cold. A faint wind blows from beneath you, seeming to bolster you, keeping you afloat, standing in front of this figure. No mask on their face, just a wide smile imitating the very smile you have on your face now. It says nothing. It just watches you, that smile never leaving.
Cheshire head tilts.
It tilts its head after you, like a 10-second delay before it tilts in the same direction that you tilted. So you tilt it to the left, he tilts it to the right.
He just grabs it.
Okay. You put your hands in it, and your arms are encased in ice. Just frozen in place, not able to actually do anything to move anywhere. You're just encased in ice. And for a moment, it just seems to creep and crawl up your body, as though it is trying to grip you, hold you in place, to lock you down, restrain you. What do you do?
I try to break the ice.
Okay. I will make a strength check for you. Athletics, but... So you are trying to break the ice around your arms, okay? 11. You flex and you pull at it
Well,
and you...
what do you?
Oh,
Oh, wait, is
you're
it just around my
raging.
arms?
No, it's around your arms, yes. Up to your
I'd
elbows.
like to take them and try to smash, dual smash against the thing's head.
Okay. You're stuck to its body as well.
So yeah, I just try to break out of it then.
Okay. You are raging because you have the mask on, so I'll roll it with advantage. 11 was your higher number, 7 was the other number. You're unable to really pull away as you're just as it pulls up over your elbows, making you unable to bend it and move anywhere further with that. What else do you do anything else?
With the mask on, he just grumbles out, "What do you want?"
It stares at you for a moment. Seems to consider that. Moves a hand up and puts it on top of the ice on your arm. Seems to almost phase through the ice to grab your arm and pull it so that your arm phases with it out of the ice. And the ice just shatters. Does the same with the other arm, pulling, keeping both arms away from its body. You're not turning to ice again this time, but it just kind of stares at you as it leans in close. And before you are dropped out of the dream, not awoken, just in almost a sense of limbo. Believe. And then you fall. You were left free.
I'm guessing
forward.
sunken place kind of feeling.
Kind of. It's like that. It's like a free fall where you're buffeted by a cold wind at your back, and it's like that feeling where it's like before you wake up is that I'm feeling like I'm going to collide with the ground, and then you jerk awake sort of feeling. And I'm going to drag us back over to General now.
Alright, fair enough.
Back.
Hey, I'm back.
We're
Yes.
back. All right.
And good night. I'm just kidding.
Actually, we're going to be doing that in just a moment. For the rest of you all, your rest is well deserved. You get back
Restful.
restful. You get back your spell slots, your HP,
Health. Yeah.
important things. As the rest comes to an end, you all begin to wake up. Karg getting up and making sure that he made sure he was on the outside so that if he rolled, he wasn't rolling
He'd roll into the
into
swamp
the wall.
water.
He would roll into swamp water, not Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
But with Ellie, kind of pinning him down casually. He
What?
never had that happen. You know how I mean.
No, I'm saying, how do I roll in my sleep that this
you
man
didn't,
can't
you
just
didn't
move
roll.
me
You were pinning him down just by laying on top of him, basically. Because that would be
Nice.
totally how she would do that.
back? Roll over and sleep. Karg, wake up. Well then, this is unexpected.
But Karg does eventually get up, and you see him like shake his head slowly, like look around, just like, where the fuck are my boots? He steps into the water and starts moving over. Gets his boots. No water in them. He kind of just stares at them for a moment, just like, my feet are wet. Moves back over to the bed and just sits down. He has your boots as well as he sets them next to his own, just like, here you go. You guys all okay over there? And as he asks that, Cheshire, you just, Michael Myers, just jerk upright.
Whoa. Okay.
Just looks from side to side.
You all right?
Look at his hands. Like his arms.
Mm-hmm.
Are they his arms, Guru?
He looks down at his arms. They are his arms, yes.
Alright. He just nods and just lays back down.
That's a
Eyes open.
question.
Eyes open, still. Just not going back to sleep, just laying down.
A little tap Karg's side. Uninjured.
Hmm.
Feeling.
Kind of rubs the side where it was, just kind of like, I'm not getting any twinges when I'm breathing anymore. That's a good sign.
I told you I'd find a method. Just
So you
another
did.
person.
Yeah, it's a start. You see him like trying to wipe off the water. He's like, this is just so weird. We should check out that thing.
Guru.
Yes?
I
only
realized
slept half of the night.
Mhm.
Technically, I didn't sleep, but
You
did
Trance.
I notice anything
Yeah,
about Cheshire? Or
No.
anybody for that matter?
No.
I mean,
The one thing that you did notice was that your friend, Hindela,
Mm-hmm.
did not sleep very long.
Mm-hmm.
Either she didn't have to or she didn't feel the need to, as eventually she also rose up and seeing you were awake was like, yes, I always forget elves are such light sleepers. Do tell everyone I will be fine. I'm just going to go outside to get some more nutrients and things of that nature. I won't be gone. Well, I should be gone for a while. I'm going deeper into the caves. Don't worry, I will make sure to stay away from the fatty. But do let them know if I'm not back when they're awake that they are free to take little nibbles of things. And if they're wanting to take care of that thing to the north, please, by all means, I will happily help you out in whatever way I am able to. Is there anything you're looking for?
Does she mean, like, specifically about that thing?
No, she's just
Or, like-
asking you specifically.
basically the granny's version of, is there anything you need before I go?
Or anything like you're wanting, just in general.
Do you have anything spell related?
What kind of spell?
Any kind of spell?
Any kind of spell. Dealer's choice.
If you have find familiar, I would appreciate that.
That's far more specific. Find familiar. Actually, I'm gonna check something real quick. Yep. Yeah, there's like a half second of thought, and she kind of like there's like that slow smile, just yes. I do like familiars. They're so cute and conjuration magic. Oh, yes, good. 1 second. She moves over, and you see her actually immediately reaches in, no hesitation, grabs a scroll, pulls it out, and reaches in and grabs something else as well, a little jar. And she moves over and sets them both on the table. Help yourself. And she walks down the tunnel that leads deeper into the mountain.
Do I... Seeing this, I would know presumably what level spell it is, right?
It's a first level spell.
Right.
Do you walk over to the table to begin transcribing
check
or such?
I can't transcribe it, unfortunately.
Why not?
Because I don't have the gold.
You need ink. Worth 50 gold. And she put a jar next to the scroll of ink.
Oh, I thought that was a jar of incense.
Oh, that's a jar of ink. You'll have to get the incense yourself, but she said next to it a jar of ink.
Gotcha. Okay, I will start transcribing that spell then.
All right. Before you head over, did you take off your boots before you went to bed?
I was honestly contemplating that.
Wait, take off your what before bed?
Boots.
Yeah, I guess I would, because I would have had to walk through all that weird stuff to get into this place. I wouldn't want that on my bed, even though
Right.
technically just like cross-legged meditating. Yeah, I would have,
Okay.
but I would have put them on when I got up.
Okay, just double checking. Nothing strange about them. There's no water in them. Just putting your boots back on.
I realized.
Yeah,
something
I wanted to make you
dawned.
worried.
I realized something dawned in absolute horror, but this still kind of tickles me. At least clothes got wet.
Mhm.
She
aware.
wouldn't have slept in them.
I'm aware. Karg did his best to be a gentleman. I can promise you that. But as we can now say, Elisha, you had enough time to transcribe Find Familiar into your
Excellent.
spell book. So go ahead and drag that, drop that in there. It is a spell that you'd have to have prepared to be able to cast
Yeah.
it. But actually, I think you
Right.
can just ritually cast it if you have it in your spell book. So you wouldn't
I'm
technically
pretty
have to.
sure.
I'll let you look into wizards and whatnot.
Lizard wizard?
Lizard wizards, lizard folk wizards, all that fun stuff.
Lizard wizard.
But when you have a chance to get the incense, just let me know you're looking for it. Obviously, if you have charcoal, of course, and you'll be able to cast the Find Familiar spell.
Cool.
All right. And with that, as everyone is waking up to begin making choices on whether or not you're going northward or not, I say that's a good place to end the session. So, how you guys feeling? You feeling good? You feeling well rested? You feeling traveled?
I'm feeling vaguely claustrophobic.
Excellent.
Why claustrophobic? The cave we're in is pretty fucking big. That's why I asked.
Just because it's the fact that we're so deep inside the cave at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be
Gotcha.
fair, we've been in a tomb.
Yeah, but she's used to tombs.
So my question: how many of you are going to go back and watch the VOD?
Probably all of us.
Every time I get taken out of the call, I imagine that's what's going to happen.
You say that, but I actually don't do that as often as you think I do.
It's happened once before, and I know for a fact you did it.
Actually, no.
I don't think she was the one who went and did that.
I know I did.
Matt's like, I'm a dirty fucker. I know I did it.
I tend to leave those things alone because it's like I'm not supposed to know it, so I can't watch it, and I'll just skip over it.
If I'm given the option, I'm gonna do it.
Matt's like, I won't metagame, but I want this info out of here.
Yep. I gotta keep notes just so we don't gotta hunt through videos.
Understandable. In the meantime, for everyone who's watching back at home, thank you so much for watching with us. Thank you for enjoying this with us. We always have so much fun when we're doing this, and it's always fun to have. Obviously, this was a little more RP heavy, but I'm definitely learning the balance between the two, and sometimes there's just needs for tiny little info blurbs to keep the interest in what you're fighting for. And so I had a lot of fun with this particular one. Hindela is a sweetheart, I'm sure. And I
Yeah,
hope that
sure.
yeah, oh, I'm sure. I mean, everything that she was answering, she was, you insight checked her a lot, and all of her things that she was saying, she was
Inside.
inside what she was being honest about. And yeah, that was fun.
Ellie's very happy. There's an old woman who just lets her ramble. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, we do stream these on What Team Comp, twitch.tv/WhatTeamComp. If you want to keep updated with this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell if you want to keep updated with when we post things. Leave us a thumbs up and a comment if you want to help us grow as a channel so we can help you guys by giving back at some point. We have to grow more to get that. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. We've been What Team Comp, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.